A great second half. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. the OHL deadline for trades is over, and a lot of people feel that is the true start to the road to the Memorial Cup.
One of the true stars so far at only 16 years of age, number 19 Mississauga, Jason Spezza.
With already a year under his belt as a 15-year-old in the OHL, this kid has just been tremendous for the last year and a half. Great vision, great creativity, and probably the best prospect to come out of the CHL since Eric Lindros.
Quietly having a great year for Sudbury, number 9, Norm Milley.
Few thought when Norm Milley got drafted in Sudbury 4 years ago that he'd end up being one of the better players in franchise history. You talk about Spezza being the go-to guy for Mississauga. It's this guy right here for the Sudbury Wolves. As he goes, so do the Sudbury Wolves.
Bert Templeton is the head coach at Sudbury now, moving over from Barrie. He is the coach and general manager. He's got more control. He's also, as of Friday, got 1,500 games coaching under his belt. But his team comes in here having played 2 days. This is their third in 3 days. The Wolves may be a bit tired.
It's always a tough grind, especially with the with the travel involved. What happens with us generally, Friday is our home night. We generally play at home Friday and then travel and play Saturday and Sunday. So it's tough. But if you look at it, we want to minimize the days that we're away from school. Most teams want to play weekends, and that's part of the job. And you know what it is? It compels you as a coach to utilize your bench. So in a long ways, it may be better for your 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st player. So it could have some positive effects.
Very important. Obviously, we're going to be the fresher team, so I think the first half of the game we have to take advantage of that. Sudbury played in Sudbury Friday, then had the bus trip yesterday, played down at the Gardens against St. Michael's yesterday, and due to some injuries and whatever, they went with a short bench, 3 lines, 4 or 5 defensemen, so we're going to try to take advantage of that, get the puck in deep, wear their defensemen down in the first half of the game, and hopefully take advantage in the later stages.
Jim Hulton has coached less than 100 games in the Ontario Hockey League. His team is up next against Sudbury, the CHL, on CTV Sportsnet next. Center in Mississauga, beautiful hockey arena. Just perfect, comfortable seats. We hope you're comfortable in your seat joining us. Today's In the Nets brought to you by Coho, the brand of goalie equipment used by Patrick Waugh. Sudbury goaltender Mike Gorman. An overage with Kitchener last year. At the other end of the ice for Mississauga, Mike Mole, the rookie, will start. 5.74 goals against with Tier 2 Junior A last year.
Well, I know I'm comfortable. You comfortable?
I'm comfortable now. Anytime I'm by you, I'm comfortable. So
Mike,
we have a bit of a delay here, Nick, as I look off to my right. And they repair the ice by the Zamboni entrance.
we take a look at Michael Mole here getting the rare start. Nick Foley had a bit of a battle against St. Mike's Friday night. And Coach Jim Hulton will go with Michael Mole, 3rd round draft pick. Young kid. He's a real big part of the future for the Mississauga Icedogs.
Well, Nick Foley played the last game for Mississauga, and that was Friday night against St. Michael's, and did not play well. So that's why they've made the goaltending change. There's been a coaching change in Sudbury, and there you see the man in charge now, head coach and general manager Bert Templeton. What an encyclopedia he is, and what a delight to talk to. We spoke with him just before the game and talked about, well, my favorite 3 subjects: hockey, hockey, hockey.
Well, for me personally, being able to spend 3 years in North Bay with this man here taught me a lot about the game, but more importantly, I think he taught me more about life as well. He's a real disciplined guy. You do it within the team concept, or you don't do it at all. That's Bert Templeton's philosophy, and it's one that's made him the most successful coaches in CHL history, along with Brian Kilray of Ottawa 67s.
Now, is that why they got off to such a slow start? Sudbury began the year 0-5 under Bert Templeton. Was it just the adjustment that you need to make to someone like him, or his style?
Absolutely. I think, he came into a system that was disorientated at times, and usually when that happens, players tend to stray on their own program. Off ice is as much a part of winning as on the ice, and a few players had problems off the ice. You just can't do that under Bert Templeton. It doesn't matter whether you're the top scorer or you're a fourth line role player. If you don't buy into the team system, you will not play. And Bert's already sent home a few players only to have them come back as a second chance. Kip Brennan's a prime example of that. He's a 4th round draft pick with the LA Kings. off-ice activities wandered off a little bit. He's been back, and he's been a different player ever since. And again, you know, it's all part of the learning process, not only at the hockey level, but in the level of life.
Here's a look at our officials for the game. The referee, Sean Allenby. The lines, Ken Cox and Angelo D'Amico. And yes, he is related to the legendary John. From the face-off, a shot on goal. It's in the Sudbury zone. Comes back to Brett Ormond of Mississauga, number 15. Fires it into the corner and behind the net. Page goes after it. Taylor Pyatt, one of the standouts for Sudbury, is number 11. Keep an eye on him as well. The Wolves, who have played 2 games in 2 days prior to this one, may be a little tired. We'll see how they start things out. Chad Wiseman is number 21, working on the big Mississauga line, and that's Jason Spezza, number 19. Spezza in the corner. Feeds it out into Scott Page, number 9, and that was turned away, and back come the Sudbury Wolves. Norm Milley, the big number 9, and the most important player so far for Sudbury, as we have a look at the lineup, starting with the visiting Sudbury Wolves.
Well, we talked about Sudbury playing their 3rd game and third day, less than 3 nights. Probably about 36, 38 hours for this team, but nothing new for Sudbury, who do a lot of traveling throughout their season. On defense, they're led by Semenov, who's about 6'6", and an outstanding prospect at the pro level.
Today's starting lineups brought to you by Toyota and its dealers. And we have a man in the box to start things off. It is Kyle Defoe for slashing at 37 seconds. So early on, Mississauga with an opportunity to go to work on the power play. Spezza staying out there. It's cleared down the ice. Right on goaltender Michael Mole. He picks up for the other goaltender, Nick Foley, who did not play that well. Let in a couple of weak goals in a 2-goal loss on Friday. And here is Spezza gathering speed across center ice and across the blue line. Beautiful move on Dennis Weidman, but he lost an edge and fell down, was tripped up a bit, and the puck again shot down the ice.
Good start by Mississauga, getting the power play early. Coach Holton talked about getting the jump early on a tired hockey club. So far, they've been able to do that.
Chad Wiseman leaves it once again for Spezza. Spezza will quarterback for Wiseman for Page. Page couldn't control it. This is something that Mississauga has trouble with, giving and taking passes. The one guy who does it beautifully usually is Spezza, but we saw on Friday night in a game we watched here that sometimes Spezza outthinks everyone else because he's just that quick. Wiseman will try again. He loses it, and it's dumped by Tom Katsopoulos, number 27, back into Mississauga territory. Ormond, rink wide. It ends up with Jason Goldenberg, number 22. And Goldenberg lifts it in. Brian McGrattan is number 20. McGrattan with it. Drew Kibble, number 24 of Sudbury, watching him. McGrattan feeds it across on the near side, ends up back with McGrattan again, one of the bigger players on Mississauga as well. Lou Dickinson, we spoke about him before the broadcast. Dickinson was benched for 2 periods on Friday. He said he didn't understand why Coach Jim Holton benched him, but he's out to do better today, no matter what the reasons were. Behind the goal and centered in front, and Inafati, number 11, Omar Inafati, looks like he took a clip in the face, may have been the tip of a stick, and he skates to the bench. Dickinson with it. 17 minutes and 23 seconds to go. The penalty has expired. Kyle Defoe back on the ice and in his defense position. Dickinson moving in, trying to get a shot on goal. Does, but not from a great angle. Defoe with it, off the boards, and out come the Sudbury Wolves. Millie, number 9, watching his man. And Matt Coughlin, number 6, will take over for Mississauga. Those of you in Canada who wanted to see what kind of a team Don Cherry has, we're delighted to bring you that opportunity to watch. B.J. Ketchison is number 23. Across to Fraser Clare, who's bumped beautifully off the puck by Pyatt. And Pyatt feeds it back in his own zone. It is cleared up and down into the Mississauga end by Jason Jaspers, number 22. And a look now at the Mississauga Icedogs and the way that they lined up to start the game.
Well, on defense, they're led by Omar Inafati, number 11. He is the go-to guy. Brought over to Mississauga with a trade with the North Bay Centennials, and he is the guy that adds stability to that blue line. And up front, of course, we're talking about 19 Jason Spezza, back from the World Junior Championships. And in the shadows sometimes of Jason Spezza, as we mentioned, Lou Dickinson, highly touted NHL prospect. that should go in the first round if everything goes well according to Lou.
Slashing penalty number 2 of the game goes to Mississauga, and there's a player on the box. Morgan fed it across and was cleared down the ice by John Gerald, number 5 of Mississauga. And Sudbury, they played yesterday afternoon at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto against St. Michael's and won there. They're on a 3-game roll. And they work the power play. Morgan with it. Number 28 feeds it in front. There's a shot right on. And the save made, the first big save of the game by Michael Mole.
Great movement by Sudbury. You can tell that the skill is definitely there on Sudbury's squad. They got a great scoring opportunity. Michael Mole with his only save of the period so far, and it was a beauty.
1 minute and 15 seconds to go in the power play, and Spezza will fire that down the ice. Right on Sudbury goaltender Mike Gorman, who leaves it for Brad Morgan. Brad's the captain. We had a chance to chat with him as well. A very likable young man. And he feels this team is just turning the corner now. They started 0-5. They've won their last 3 straight. They're a game under 500. Here's Morgan with a puck. Feeds it across for Jaspers. Jaspers into the corner, being watched by Ketchison. Feeds it back of the goal. That's Norm Millie. Millie is the best of a pretty good bunch in Sudbury and an improving bunch. There's a shot on goal. Save made. Rebound. And that shot just wide by Jaspers. Coughlin watching Millie. Millie works out of the corner. 2 men on him. Now he turns the other way. Looking for someone to pass to. The point's open. There it is to Morgan. Back to Millie. 26 seconds to go on the power play. Millie in deep. Waiting for a return pass. Jason Jaspers has it. Jaspers feeds it in front. A backhand shot by Alexei Semenov. The big, rangy 6'6" defenseman steered away. Semenov gets it again, number 13. Feeds it in tight. That's Millie feeding it out in front. Nobody there. And Wiseman, beleaguered, finally gets the backhand down the ice, and that will finish the power play for Sudbury. Some good action. 2 power plays here to start this game. Our first CHL broadcast on CTV Sportsnet this year and this millennium. Mississauga had trouble the other night getting the puck out of their own end. Goldenberg trying to get it across center ice. Kent Ormond will try, but his pass for Smith was way off the mark. Vaillancourt moves in. Katsopoulos helping him. It comes back to the point, but Smith is playing his position properly. Feeds it ahead. Going after it. Dickinson right in front. Oh, and he was tripped up at the last moment by Mike Gorman. That's the best scoring opportunity we've had for either side. Lou Dickinson, we mentioned he was out to prove something today. Had an opportunity there and just narrowly missed.
Great speed by Lou Dickinson to even catch up to that puck. Just having it roll off his stick, but you can certainly see why the scouts are excited about Lou Dickinson. Great size, but even better speed.
The Wolves once again trying to apply some pressure, and Mississauga will bring it out. Ormond flips it through center ice, and Morgan takes over. Morgan misses a check beautifully, picks it up. That was Chris Thaler trying to apply the body there. He missed. Warren Hefford from Newfoundland, number 20 out there for Sudbury. And it is cleared off the boards, kept in.
Bert Templeton has his 4th line out here, and they should see some good action with their 3rd game, 3rd night.
Hefford feeding it in behind the goal. Looking for the pass back, does not get it. Number 14 for the Sudbury Wolves is Vic Fetapora. No score here in the first period at Hershey.
Started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
Meet the new power in full-size pickups, the Toyota Tundra. The first 32-valve V8 ever put in a full-size pickup. The 245 horsepower I-Force engine for the fastest acceleration and the most torque in its class. Look out! Oh! Tundra. It takes everything you've got.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 5,000 kilometers because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 5,000 kilometers under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
Back in Mississauga, today's top prospect brought to you by MasterCard, the official card and payment system of the Canadian Hockey League. It is Lou Dickinson of Mississauga. An Ottawa native, 6'2", 191 pounds. The first draft choice in Dogs history. 141 points in 68 games in Bantam. 46 as a rookie last year, and he's ranked number 7 in all of Ontario by Central Scouting. Taylor Pyatt, Sudbury, for Millie. Out in front, shot by Jason Jaspers is covered up comfortably by goaltender Michael Mole.
Well, we can see why these three guys work so well together. It's a knack for knowing where each other are and a good scoring opportunity, but it's really led by Norm Millie. Second round draft choice of Buffalo. There we take a look at Semenov. 6'6", and he's not scared to move in front of the net, as we saw in the power play earlier, Lance.
Well, he moved the puck in there for Millie. Inafati is watching in front of the goal, and the puck comes to him. Cavell will keep it in, and his shot deflected by Jaspers back into the other corner. Page tying up his man, and finally it is cleared out by Inafati to center ice. No score. We're at about the 7.5-minute mark here of the first period. Drew Kibble with the puck, loses it, and then gets it back and fires it out to center. Inafati off the boards. Jaspers picks that up. Spezza gets it, and he'll turn in his own end. Big Spezza, 6'3", 200 pounds. Moves across the line for Page. In front of the goal was Wiseman, and they couldn't get him the puck. Back the other way come the Wolves. Sudbury doing a good job of tying up Mississauga. When Mississauga gets things going offensively and they're trying to take away that big line, that is a success to beating the Mississauga Icedogs. The Wolves are doing a good job of that so far. The Icedogs, for what it's worth, have only won 5 games so far this year, but they've been very close in many of them. Here's Dickinson. Dickinson turns, being watched by Derek McKenzie, number 16. Ketchison up through center ice. And here is Sudbury trying Connell, Jerry Connell, move the puck inside the Mississauga end. Ketchison will go the opposite direction. And Vladimir Chernyenko is number 3, one of 2 Russian players on the Sudbury team, and he is also a defenseman, and he is also one big guy from Kiev in the Ukraine, actually. So technically not Russian, if you're keeping score there. No score of the hockey game. 11 minutes to go. Jason Goldenberg couldn't get through. Back the other way, Sebastian Savage. Long shot deflected, right on rebound. Katsopoulos had an opportunity and couldn't bury it. Goldenberg flips it up off the glass, but virtually nowhere. Going in there to help out is Chris Thaler, and Wiseman will take it.
Sudbury's got a real quick team. As we saw, Goldenberg didn't get it in on the offensive blue line. Sudbury turned it right over, had their best scoring chance so far.
Off the boards and out to center ice. Once again, this is Dennis Weidman over to Mike Vaillancourt, to Tom Katsopoulos in front for Kip Brennan. Brennan gets it back, a delayed penalty call, and now as John Jerem touches it, the Sudbury Wolves will go to their second power play of the period.
Hooking penalty. Looks like it's Chris Thaler getting the call. And again, prime example of how Sudbury comes and attacks you with tremendous speed. And if you don't have good body position, then you're forced to take a hooking penalty, as Chris Thaler did. Sudbury will see their second power play of the period.
The Wolves 2 shots on the last power play. Here's a look again at Thaler's infraction. It didn't look that severe from that angle, at least. Nonetheless, Sudbury has an opportunity to open the scoring in this one. Semenov keeps it in. Into the corner it goes, and Sudbury will try to work it outside, and that's just fine by the Mississauga Icedogs, who themselves are really having trouble on the power play. Mississauga's won for something like 21 since Christmas on the power play. Sudbury considerably better than that, Nick.
Good pressure by Matt Coughlin along the boards on Norm Milley.
Tanner Pyatt, number 11, 6'4", 215 pounds, out of Thunder Bay. He was the fastest skater at the top prospects skills competition last year. He is a first-round draft pick of the New York Islanders. And he said, Nick, that he went to camp, and I asked him, well, were there any surprises? And he said, no, not really. I said, well, what did you think? He said, gee, those guys are big.
And he's 6'4".
That's right.
Must be nice to be 6'4" and regarded as one of the faster skaters in the league.
And there he is with the puck. Number 11, Taylor Pyatt. He said he's got to work on all aspects of his game before he makes the grade to the New York Islanders in the National Hockey League. Long shot by Morgan, steered aside. Will it come back to him? No. Jespers. Now it goes back to Morgan across to Semenov. Back to Jespers. He's got an opportunity. Backhanded in front. There's Pyatt with a shot. Rebound. Still loose in front. And finally, leaping on the puck is Michael Mole. 3 or 4 good opportunities to score there on the power play. 53 seconds left in the power play for the Sudbury Wolves, and very close to scoring the first game. Not only Jason Jaspers, but also their Tyler Pyatt.
Again, good movement by Sudbury, and then Tyler Pyatt taking that 6'4" frame, establishing position in front of the net, and then getting a good whack at it. Michael Moore doing a good job staying with the puck, finding it in loose traffic, and then pouncing on it right there.
Well, Mole is a young guy who has a great deal to learn. 3rd round pick in 1999. He's out of Orleans, Ontario. And he had an okay goals against in Tier 2 last year, 5.74 as a rookie this year.
Talking to Coach Jim Holton prior to the game, he's already started 15, 16 games, and that's what he thought he'd get the whole season. So he's way ahead of schedule in terms of the amount he's grown so far this season.
Derek McKenzie wins the faceoff from Spetz. It comes in front. There's an opportunity for Brennan. 2 opportunities. The second went right through his stick. Jerem off the boards. No luck. Derek McKenzie back to the point. Semenov shot way wide. Haven't seen much of a shot so far from the young Russian. Lots of size, though. Man, he is a big boy. Got a couple of 6'6"ers out here. And don't forget, Jason Spetz is 6'3".
Alexei Semenov could be Don Cherry's worst nightmare. A Russian that hits.
Yeah, there are no players from outside of Ontario on Don Cherry's hockey club. And that, as he, I'm sure, would suggest to you, is just the way he likes it. Spezza and Jerem watching. Jerem trying to force, now Spezza keeping it outside, and there's a missed pass. Wiseman looking for Thaler. Couldn't get him the pass. Thaler will pick it up anyway in the backhand, but he picks it up offside. We have no score here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga between the Sudbury Wolves and the Mississauga Icedogs.
I've always been set in my ways. So when Subaru told me they were changing my Outback, I was a tad concerned. Truth is, they just made it better. This next generation Outback's got a stylish new body, quieter ride, and their best all-wheel driving system ever. It sort of inspired me to make a few changes. I think this works. The new Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon from Subaru.
Jim Simple, Agent 43, reporting for duty. Our mission is simple, to show Canadians how to save without switching on long-distance calls with Buck-a Call. Just dial 101-5566, then 1, then the number. It's just a Buck-a Call for every 15 minutes or less, anytime to anywhere in Canada. The charges appear on your local phone bill. Dial 101-5566 and save without switching.
It It's a Canadian game.
Back at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, while we've got this blanketed, Mark Hepsher is scouring the world for every speck of relevant sports information you could ever want to hear about at 6 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Ontario West and Pacific. Hebsy, you owe me.
Both teams' fourth line out there now. Obviously, Jim Holton likes to roll 4 lines. Bert doesn't. 3 games in 3 days suggests that Bert needs to. Let's see what happens here.
Calverta with a long shot on goal. That is covered up and held by Mike Gorman, one of the 2 mics at either end of the arena. We always have mics at either end of the arena during these broadcasts. We got another 2, Mike Gorman and Michael Mole.
Oh, take a look at Gorman, who's the wily veteran between the pipes, and he's done a pretty good job the last few years in Sudbury. Of course, Bert Templeton, drafted in the first round. Young kid, Miguel Baudry, who will definitely be the future of the Sudbury Wolves for years to come, but in the meantime, definitely Mike Gorman's his man.
Mississauga with a big line on Spezza. Backhands that off the skate of Semenov, but it was steered away easily by the goaltender, and out come the visitors. Sudbury's Wolves. Warren Hebert dumps it in, then goes for a change. Scott Page watching his man. Into the corner they go. Dalliday moves in to help out as well. And out comes Jason Spezza. Spezza, who didn't see much ice at the World Championships, will see a great deal more here. You can count on that. Drew Kibble moves it up, takes a hit, but gets the pass where it has to go. And here is Mike Viancourt with an opportunity, moving in front. Oh, and he had it. The rebound to Pyatt. Oh, what a great save there! Michael Mole, sensational reflexes, managed to get that leg up, and this will be not only our best save, but it's got to be our best replay. Taylor Pyatt can't believe it.
Great speed by Valancourt coming in, and Tyler, all he has to do is get it up. No, sir. Michael Moore. Great save to keep this game scoreless.
Well, if you're going to make a save like that, do it on national television. What a beauty that is. Michael, we'll send you a copy of the tape, guaranteed. Thank you for bringing us that one.
And the ability to stay with it after and to cover up the rebound.
6 minutes, 57 seconds left to play here in the first 20 minutes. There is no score. We've seen some great goaltending. B.J. Ketchison firing it up. And that goes nowhere at center ice. It's loose. Both teams after it. Kip Brennan tries to bring it in. He can't. Goldenberg one-hands the pass ahead, and it is fired down the ice. And again, we have a stoppage in play. It's like a 2-line pass to me, Nick.
Well, we take a look at again Michael Moore coming up big for his hockey club. And again, when you're talking about a team that's as young as the Mississauga Icedogs, they need this type of goaltending to keep them in hockey games, and eventually those close hockey games will turn to wins. But in the meantime, if they can get good goaltending like that.
Now, Taylor Pyatt there really had what I would call a Nick Kyprios-like opportunity, you know. That was pretty much the story of your career, wasn't it? The net was wide open, but somehow the goaltender made a brilliant save time after time after time. Vladimir Chernyenko, number 3, out there along with Kip Brennan, and Brennan flips it to center ice. Ketchison for Mississauga. The Ice Dogs in their second year. And we have a tripping penalty upcoming to Viancourt of the Sudbury Wolves. So Jason Spezza, who is on the bench, may get an opportunity to pop back off again as Ketchison moves around the net, and there's not much doubt about that one.
No, Ketchison had good body position and obviously beat Valancourt up the ice. Offensive penalty is not something that head coaches are real fond of. And again, when you're talking about a tired hockey club with the Sudbury Wolves, the last thing you want to do is have your better players like Derek McKenzie and Taylor Pyatt out there doing a little extra work, but that's what's going to happen for the next 2 minutes.
And as we mentioned, Jason Spezza gets the first opportunity, but you know what? They're putting Derek McKenzie out against him on the faceoffs, and I don't know that Spezza's won one yet. So McKenzie, who is a face-off specialist, has done a good job, and he's out there killing the penalty, and he's on his man right now. It goes to Wiseman. Wiseman with Page. This is the big three for Mississauga. Semenov trying to rip it around the boards and out. Can't get it that far. It's kept in beautifully by Smith. And there's Spezza getting a world championship-like body check. Back to the point it comes. Smith feeding it into the corner. Here's Spezza. Lots of time to look. Centers it in front, and a great opportunity there for Orman moving in from the point, but he couldn't convert. That's the story. Spezza sets him up, but the guys haven't been able to finish. 1 minute and 15 seconds left to go in the power play for Mississauga. No score. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first period. Spezza again. Dumps it in this time. Tom Katsopoulos is number 27, and that goes off a skate, bounces back, and we've got an offside and a stoppage in play. 5:07 left to go and 59 in the penalty.
Well, again, you take a look at the way Jason Spezza likes to operate. Very controlled, very methodical, and again on that power play, 40-foot pass across the ice, tape to tape, and there's not too many guys in the world that can make that pass. He is truly a special player.
Jason Rocco A. Spezza. Found that out this weekend.
Did you steal his birth certificate?
Middle name, and the fourth name, if you will, is Andrew. So Jason Rocco, Andrew Spezza. He's got a twin brother and sister, and they're both 13 years of age. Again, Jason's 16. He turns 17 in the summer. And he was saying that brother of his is going to be bigger than he is now. Mississauga trying to get something going without Spezza on the ice at the moment, but he may be back before this penalty is over. There's a shot by McGrattan that's deflected, and if he's coming, he's going to come now. 22 seconds left in the power play for Mississauga.
All right, and we take a look at Brian McGrattan, who was picked up from a trade with Sudbury, so a little extra incentive here this afternoon for this guy right here, but he is all about a physical presence.
McGrattan was Los Angeles' 4th-round pick in 1999, 104th overall. Good-sized hockey team. You know, they're a young hockey team, but they're a good-sized hockey team, Mississauga.
Well, again, that's right up Don Cherry's alley. Be a physical team, win the loose battles, and eventually have the more skilled players like Wiseman and Spezza to put the puck in the net. And, of course, great goaltending by Michael Moore this afternoon certainly wouldn't help, or hurt, sorry.
Omar Anafati is number 11, back in his own zone. Just 14 seconds left to go in this power play for Mississauga, so if they're going to muster, they better muster in a hurry. Here they come. Through center ice for McGrattan. He tried to hit Dickinson and couldn't. That'll finish the power play opportunity. Mississauga's got its best line on the ice right now. Norm Milley is out there with Jaspers, and Mike Viancourt is trying to get off the ice.
And again, this power play, we're seeing one of the biggest problems Mississauga's had this year on the power play. The ability to get it in deep with speed.
Well, it's the speedy Lou Dickinson making one move on Semenov. Following up is Jason Goldenberg. It comes back to the point. Jerem keeps it in, fires a weak shot. I'm not sure whether that was a shot or a pass. And here's Norm Milley. 3:39 to go in the period. No score here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. Sudbury and the Mississauga Icedogs. Warren Hefford. Hefford did not play, so he should be fresh. Didn't play yesterday afternoon, while his teammates did. It rolls in on goaltender Michael Moll, and we've got a stoppage in play. 3 minutes and 24 seconds left to go in the first period. There's no score at Mississauga.
Meet the new power in full-size pickups, Toyota Tundra. The first 32-valve V8 ever put in a full-size pickup. The 245 horsepower I-Force engine for the fastest acceleration and the most torque in its class.
Look out! Oh!
Tundra. It takes everything you've got.
When disaster strikes, help can't arrive fast enough. But when the emergency is over, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families will be there. By bringing resources and people together in times of crisis, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families helps families when they need it most. Across the community and across Canada, picking up the pieces and putting lives back together. That's the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families.
When you get stiff, aching muscles, ever notice how the little things in life seem somehow bigger? For fast relief, remember, one Advil is often enough. Advil for today's tough pain.
Back in Mississauga, no score. Sudbury and the Mississauga Icedogs. We talked about Derek McKenzie's face-off prowess. Look, there he does it again. Kibble, number 24 at the point for Sudbury. McKenzie wheeling around in the corner, being watched by a player about the same size as he is. That's Chris Thaler. It comes to a much larger variety in B.J. Ketchison, and that's off the boards and out to center ice. Clare back to Ketchison. And the tic-tac didn't hit the toe. Thaler will go after it. Can't get it. Semenov along the boards to Savage. And up we go to McKenzie. He's fast. There's a long shot. Well, what we've seen of Michael Mole would indicate that he's in the zone, as they say for goaltenders. You are not going to beat him from there today.
No, certainly giving his team the kind of goaltending that they're going to need to win this afternoon. But you know, we talked about Mississauga and their inability to get control in the offensive zone on a power play, and it's something that just has Coach Jim Hulton baffled. It's one of those things where work as hard as you want, but at the end of the day, if your specialty teams aren't working, it makes it very difficult to win hockey games.
McKenzie wins another face-off. Sudbury maintains control. Connell is after it. He's being watched on the far side by Brett Orman, number 15. Wiseman tries to pick it up. Inafati leaves it for Orman. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first period. There is no score. Sudbury visiting Mississauga, our first CHL game of the year. Thanks for joining us. We hope you stay for the rest of the ride. This year should be a great one. Ormond in his own zone. Off the skate of Wiseman. Here's an opportunity for Kip Breton, and that went off the shoulder of Mole. Brennan with an opportunity from a decent distance, may get another one. Tried to get it for Viancourt, and Spetz is there to rescue the Mississauga Icedogs. It won't be the last time. Out comes Jason Spezza. 2 minutes to go, first period. He doesn't like the looks of that side of the ice. Katsopoulos doing a good job watching. Ormond, who's been out there for a while, dumps it in. Now he goes for a change. Wiseman trying to feed it to Page. And this is where Mississauga can't connect most, is in the offensive zone. Viancourt takes the fruits of that and dumps it in. And he goes off. 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. This should be the last line change for both clubs this period. McGrattan with it. Big McGrattan trying to take on Semenov. Does a nice job. Wheeling in there is Thaler. Trying to get a shot away, and he couldn't. Jasper's got to it in time. Coughlin keeps it into Clare. Clare for Thaler. No, that's not going to work. Thaler will move around. Try to set up a teammate. Ketchison moving in from the point. They tried to feed him, but Millie intercepts that. 2-on-2 here. Millie working on Coughlin. Coughlin forces him to the outside. Millie gets a backhand shot away anyway. Still loose. Pyatt feeds it in front. What a save! That's number 2 for Michael Mole.
Jasper's having that opportunity, going high to the stick side, and Michael Moore was there to answer.
Millie, 46 seconds to go in the first period. The story of the first period, goaltender Michael Mole put in after a poor performance by, well, I don't want to say a real poor performance, but not a great performance by Nick Foley. But this has been more than a great performance here in the first period, and this is his outstanding save number 2.
Again, the
right
big
there.
line going to work here. Taylor Pyatt doing the dirty work in the corner, and Jasper's getting the one-timer away. And this man here has had a heck of a first period, and he sent his teammates a real clear message that I'm showing up today. Get me a few goals and it might be enough the way I'm going.
Well, the problem is that his teammates aren't picking up enough, and if they are picking up, they're picking up penalties. Fraser Clare gets this one for tripping, and 19:20 is the time. So 40 seconds left to play, and it'll be with a man down for Mississauga, and then they will start the second period the same way.
We talked about this man's woes on the power play. Well, their penalty killing hasn't fared that much better either. At 69.6, they are the bottom of the OHL in that department. Well, let's see what they can do here.
Help if they could win a faceoff. There's a fake shot. It comes across from Morgan. Morgan, the captain of Sudbury, tries to feed it in front. We've seen both teams try to feed the puck in front when there are all kinds of bodies there. Bodies on both teams. It hasn't worked yet for anybody. Dennis Weidman, second round pick. Good puck handler. Well, not that good, because here's an opportunity for Mississauga, and tripped on the play, Jason Goldenberg. And he puts his arms up as if to say, what? No penalty shot. No penalty shot, but penalty with 7 seconds left to go.
Now there he establishes positioning. He's clearly in, and he would have had a scoring opportunity. I would have liked to see a penalty shot there.
Well, sure, we'd like to see penalty shots because of playing hockey.
You got to call it. He's in. Why no penalty shot there?
I thought he was close enough. He was close enough, Nick.
Listen, everybody loves a penalty shot.
Yeah, but
as long as it's legitimate.
Okay, well, you say legitimate, I say I don't think so. But I'm not wearing my Stanley Cup ring today, so what do I know? Semenov with it for Sudbury, fires it down into the Mississauga end. That'll end the first period. No scoring, but certainly entertaining, and I think the primary entertainment comes from that man. Boy, has he got to be happy with that first period. Nothing much is going to develop there. Michael Mole. What a terrific first 20 minutes of play. It leaves his team scoreless with the visitors from the Sudbury Wolves. No score after 20 here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. We're back for the first period intermission in just a moment.
I am the Rocky Mountains. 100 million years I have stood here. This I know. Lead with the left, follow with the right. Buy low, sell high. Look for windows of opportunity. Take the road less traveled. Keep your stick on the ice. The grass really is greener on the other side. And always maintain an open door policy.
Coors Light, call of the Rockies.
Viens, Harry. Viens, Harry.
Téléphone.
Yeah, but you told me that. Okay. I wanted the day off. I knew they wouldn't leave me alone. But I couldn't let the guys down.
That night in 1944, Montreal beat Detroit 9-1. Maurice Rocket Richard scored 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists. A legend was born.
Okay. Right. Okay, are we going to do scores? So it's going to go, it'll go as written, right? Our next CHL broadcasts. Right. Okay, yep. Getting their start, Jeff Friesen, a standout in San Jose. Jason Allison in the big time. Jason. Our next CHL broadcast, January the 16th, a week today, Red Deer against the #1 team in the nation. At 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, the Calgary Hitmen having an outstanding first half of their season. The score here in Mississauga, no score, Sudbury and Mississauga. And the reason why it's no score is this goaltender, Michael Mole. Now that's not the great save, that one. Look at that, what a beauty with the glove. And then he'd come back later on and make another sensational save. Mole with the start today, he has done a terrific job. First period stats brought to you by Coho, makers of the new 3380 titanium skate.
Stick and pucks, $53. Wool caps, $42. NHL jersey, $114. 0 degrees, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Official card of the NHL and fan of the great Frozen game.
Service, always first.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's Thrifty. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
I am a living legend. My goalie stick is my sword and my shield. My mask, my armor protect me from enemy fire. When players approach the net, they don't see a goaltender, they see a fortress. The hockey rink is my kingdom, and I am its guardian. What's your dream?
Our next CHL broadcast, January the 16th, a week today, Red Deer against the #1 team in the nation. At 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, the Calgary Hitmen having an outstanding first half of their season. The score here in Mississauga, no score, Sudbury and Mississauga. And the reason why it's no score is this goaltender, Michael Mole. Now that's not the great save, that one. Look at that, what a beauty with the glove. And then he'd come back later on and make another sensational save. Mole with the start today, he has done a terrific job. First period stats brought to you by Coho, makers of the new 3380 titanium skates. Coho, a whole new game. Jason Spezza joins me now. How are you, Rocco?
Good, good.
How was that first period?
It was pretty good from us. Mike played real well in net, and we came out strong, and they got a power play, and that sort of slowed our momentum down, but we're going to try and pick it up this period.
Were you trying to take advantage of the fact that Sudbury had played 2 games prior to this? They played Friday night in Sudbury, then bust and played at St. Mike's, or Maple Leaf Gardens, if you will, yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, we knew they had 2 games. This was their 3rd game in 3 nights, so we have to come out and really hit them and just sort of try and make the most of our opportunities. They're a good hockey club.
How's the jet lag?
The jet lag has gotten a little better. I slept all night last night, so that was the first night I've done that since I've gotten back. So I'm feeling a little bit better today, and your TV timeouts helped me out a bit.
Well, we'll try to get you as many as we can for the rest of the game. When you're playing with these guys, it's a big change from the World Junior Championships. What kind of a change do you see when you get back out with the boys here?
Oh, definitely. It was a little more controlled there, and the guys were obviously just more skilled players, just being the top 22 players in all of Canada and playing against the world. It's a little bit more sloppy here, but it's still good hockey here, and it was real good hockey over there.
Are you used to the ice time? Because I know you didn't get a lot with the World Juniors. You were more of an observer than anything else there at 16 years of age.
Yeah, definitely. I came from here where I play a lot, and I went there and I didn't play a whole lot. So it's all right. I'm getting back to playing my regular minutes, and things are starting to go well again.
Thanks very much. Good luck to you and your teammates in the second period.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Getting their start, Jeff Friesen, a standout in San Jose. Jason Allison in the big time at Boston. Eric Daze coming along in Chicago. They've all made the show, but where did they audition? We'll have that when we come back.
Started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
Look out, motorists. Old Man Winter's out to get you.
You're cold and cool and you don't fight fair. That's okay, see if I care.
No matter what winter throws at you, Prestone Antifreeze is how you fight back.
Hit me with your best shot.
Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 64 below.
Hit me with your best shot.
Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's Thrifty. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
Auto parts, auto parts, auto parts. For quality, we have the line for top performance every time. Superior parts for every type of range, you know, is built just right.
Installed at Auto Pro and UAP Napa member installers.
In racing or on the road, top quality replacement parts are a must, which is why I recommend the full range of UAP Napa parts. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Okay, where did they get their start? Jeff Friesen, San Jose Sharks, ex of the Regina Pats. Jason Allison, the London Knights. Eric Daze, the Beauport Harpers. Now you know. And it's time for CHL Extra, brought to you by Toyota and its dealers across Canada. Players of the Week in the CHL from Guelph, Kevin Mitchell. On defense, Matthew Chouinard of Shawinigan. Offensively, Sylvain Deschâtelet of Baie-Comeau in the Quebec League. And in the Western League, Brett DeCecco of Seattle's Thunderbirds. Your CHL Players of the Week. The OHL training deadline, as Nick mentioned during the first period, tomorrow at 6 o'clock. There has been some news, not a great deal so far substantially, but some deals of note. Ottawa picked up defenseman Kevin Holdridge from Plymouth for Chris Cava, who was part of the Memorial Cup champions last year. Holdridge, 16 points in 30-plus games. Sarnia picked up two players, Chris Newbury, and there you see Kelly Padden's name as well. He was a throw-in in exchange for veteran David Kornakia. And one other note, in particular with Sudbury, Mike Van Ryn was given an out if he wanted it to go to a team that is contending, because the Sting this year are not. But he told the Cicerellis, thanks, but no thanks, guys. I think we're turning it around right here. I'm going to stay right here. We'll have more news on the Western Hockey League in our second intermission.
Hey, look, there's George. Say hello to his favorite server.
Hello. The usual?
Yes, please. You just ordered? Let me guess. Poppy seed bagel, toasted, and medium coffee, double-double. He's sitting down. First table, second seat.
Hello, fellas.
All our bagels are baked fresh daily. Enjoy your favorite with a medium coffee for just $1.59.
So, Doug, how's your cinnamon raisin bagel?
Good.
And Jason, your coffee? I mean, black coffee. 2 sugars.
Let's talk hard-working engines. Pretty rough, huh? Well, you wanted full off-road capabilities. You know, just in case all the drive-thrus get moved to the mountains. But guess what? You got a hard-working engine. Better get a hard-working oil. This is Quaker State 4x4, a synthetic blend for hard-working engines. It's been tested for pure maximum protection. Nothing's better. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's Thrifty. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
For every guy who'd rather swing a club than dance in one. For every guy who's ever prepared a gourmet meal. For every guy who knows exactly why they're man's best friend. And for every guy who appreciates the benefits of being a guy, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango. It's good to be a guy.
Our play of the period brought to you by Auto Pro Mechanical and Collision, the largest network of automotive professionals. Well, if you watch the first period, not much doubt. Two outstanding saves, but there were two beauties in a row. Mike Vaillancourt with the opportunity first on Michael Mole, and then Taylor Pyatt. Watch the glove. Oh, yes, sir. Sensational saves by a goaltender who had a sensational first 20 minutes. Michael Mole of Mississauga. There's no score after the first 20 minutes of play. And the second period is upcoming at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, Ontario.
Thought I'd let my friends here help demonstrate a few key points of the Subaru Forester. Go ahead, boys.
First, there's the added traction of full-time all-wheel drive. Better cornering than a Lexus RX 300.
And did I mention it got the highest rating in its class in recent crash tests?
That's gonna hurt.
Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough, car easy.
When disaster strikes, help can't arrive fast enough. But when the emergency is over, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families will be there. By bringing resources and people together in times of crisis, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families helps families when they need it most. Across the community and across Canada, picking up the pieces and putting lives back together. That's the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families.
Now the U.S. will know the power of chaos. What's with the rocket? To reach the U.S., use Coca-Cola and save without switching.
It's just $1 for every 10 minutes or less. Anytime to anywhere in the U.S.
Just dial 101-5566, then 1, then the number. Dial 101-5566 to save without switching. Very smart. Prepare to launch.
Don't tell me he's launching us. He's launching us.
I asked you not to tell me that.
It's time to play the Dodge Trivia Contest. Win this Dodge Caravan 26T Family Value Package minivan to be given away in our Memorial Cup telecast on CTV Sunday, May 28th. Or win a Roots Leather Melton CHL jacket or a Nike training suit. Phone now and answer this trivia question. Who holds the Sudbury Wolves record for most points in a season? Ron Duguay, Mike Foligno, Dale Hunter. To enter, phone 1-900-451-5297.
CHL Sunday on CTV Sportsnet is presented in part by Canadian Tire, still the right place. By Dodge, a proud sponsor of Major Junior Hockey.
And the players are back on the ice for the start of the second period here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. There's something about that name that makes me hungry. Are you hungry for some hockey, Nick? There you go.
Always hungry.
Sportsnet. You could do a little singing thing. Are you hungry for some hockey? What do you think?
Nah. You haven't heard me sing yet.
Yes, I did. We were singing with Stompin' Tom there, the hockey song. Second period. Well, by golly, it is the second period. These guys, Mississauga, And that's what you're looking at there. They've got to be pretty happy because they get out of that with no scoring either way, I suppose. Offensively, of course, they're still struggling, but their goaltender, boy, was he brilliant. I guess we've talked about it a lot, but it certainly warrants the extra mention. Michael Mole has been the extra difference. And Bert Templeton's Chargers in Sudbury, well, they're a little bit pooped perhaps, but they're playing pretty good hockey so far, and they're certainly well within winning this one. They played it pretty tight with St. Mike's yesterday and then went on to a victory there. They won at home on Friday night, so they're trying to make it 4 wins in a row total, actually, because they've won one before the weekend.
And again, he leans towards the big line of Millie, Hyatt, and Jaspers, and they had a good period, only to be foiled by Michael Moore.
You know, we didn't ask Bert. We didn't ask him whether or not he was going to chase Brian Kilrea until he caught him.
I think he will. It's truly an amazing thing to say that you've won 800 hockey games. I mean, it's very rare that today we'll see teams win 40 games in a season. A coach will need 20 of those to catch Bert Templeton. I don't see too many coaches doing that.
That's a lot of Nick Kiprios to coach. How long did he have you for?
3 years, 3.5 years.
3.5 years. Does he take any credit for it, or does he
all
deny
of it.
that he ever knew you?
Absolute, all of it. And I don't mind sharing a little bit with him.
Oh, you're a very gracious guy. Jason Jaspers, part of Bert Templeton's club and one of the stellar performers so far for Sudbury. Jaspers off to just a great season. 5th in OHL scoring with 22 goals, 32 assists, 54 points. Then he's chasing it down on the Mississauga end as we start the second period. No score, the Icedogs.
Well, we start the period with a little 4-on-4, which means a lot more room for the likes of Millie and Spezza, so we'll see what happens.
Well, here's Jason Spezza at center ice. Spezza wheeling in, nice move to get past his scoring counterpart, Millie, but it is taken away and brought back by Sudbury's Jaspers. He's held up by Wiseman. Mole couldn't stop it. Jaspers will get an opportunity. Looks at Semenov and then dumps it to the wrong team. But it goes off Ormond, who wasn't ready for it. Millie tried to center it, and Kibble had moved in. Couldn't connect. Spezza. Yeah, it's nice to see the 4-on-4, actually. It is opened up. Wiseman with a shot. That's stopped. And Millie takes it behind his own goal. Just underway, second period. The Sudbury Wolves and the Mississauga Icedogs. Semenov, here's an opportunity. It's a 2-on-1. Center's in front, and a backhand shot there by Jaspers was way wide. Spezza, rink wide. Chad Wiseman to Spezza. 2-on-2 for the moment. Spezza waiting for his teammates to make a change. Tried to drop it to Coughlin, but Taylor Pyatt saw that coming. Jaspers goes off, so Pyatt will go it alone. Pyatt in from a bad angle, gets the shot on goal. The save is made, and it is held by Michael Mole. 18 minutes and 37 seconds to play here in the second period. And it's the Auto Pro Plus Minus. Today's Plus Minus brought to you by Auto Pro Mechanical and Collision, the largest network of automotive professionals.
Well, we see Jason Jaspers at a plus 21. And the draft choice from the Phoenix Coyotes is one of the top players and one of the go-to guys that Bert Templeton time and time will look to.
Mississauga now with 5 skaters on the ice, and Sudbury still trying to kill 20 seconds of a penalty left over from that first period. Coughlin for Mississauga. Dumps it rink wide. It ends up at center ice. And this is Kyle Defoe. We haven't seen him that often. Number 4 for Sudbury, but he's out there now. Another big, rangy defenseman. They say defensemen take a longer time to develop. Well, that's because many of them are so big that they have to grow into their physiques, if you will. They have to get fit, and it's difficult to do when you're long and lanky. It isn't quite as difficult if you're a little bit shorter and a little bit more compact. But once they get there, they're amongst the best of the players. Coughlin hopes to be one of those. Number 6 for Mississauga. Feeds it out. Goldenberg picks it up. Dickinson's trying to help him. He didn't. Katsopoulos turns the other way for Sudbury. Katsopoulos moving in, and offside was Kip Brennan at the blue line. And Mississauga's Icedogs, well, there aren't a lot of pluses. There ain't a whole hell of a lot to talk about.
When you got trouble putting the puck in the net, that's usually the case. Daryl Cowan, who is not in the lineup, one of their fastest skaters on the Mississauga Icedogs, at -2. But Lance, we talked about face-offs. and how Mississauga was having a tough time of him. Only 4 of 16 face-offs won by Mississauga, 25%. Just isn't good enough, and those are the things that they need to work on this period.
Oh, there's a hard check by Brad Morgan. He embellished just a little bit and right back down at the other end. McGrattan returns the favor. McGrattan bumps a little bit with Chernyenko. Again, he's out of Kiev in the Ukraine, but we do have penalties called. We had one substantial body check thrown in the neutral zone, and then another reply thrown in the Sudbury end moments later.
Well, here's Brad Morgan here, getting all a Thaler in the neutral zone, and the overage defenseman playing some big body.
And as a result, McGrattan, who threw the second hit, that was not considered legal, so he sits out 2 minutes.
Well, again, you don't want to be taking too many penalties against a very talented hockey club like the Sudbury Wolves, because it's only a matter of time before the likes of Norm Milley and Taylor Pyatt connect.
Well, it's Pyatt with the puck at center ice. Just into this power play. They'll try to set it up. Milley has it. Jaspers went past where Milley thought he was going to go. Jaspers gets it now. Milley turns. He's being watched by Anafati. Comes loose. Jaspers trying to get it on the backhand. May feed it back to Morgan. Does. Morgan, it hops over his stick. And there was a great opportunity because he had room to move in and take the shot. Jaspers with it again. Stops. Nice job by Anafati defensively, but it's blocked by Morgan. Moving in, shoots! Save made by Michael Mole, and Taylor Pyatt was standing there saying, I was ready for the pass, and it never came this way.
Well, Jason Spezza having an opportunity to clear this puck on the backhand, doesn't do it. And Morgan gets an opportunity to step right in, and once again, like the first period, Michael Mole is there to make the save.
1:18 left of the penalty to McGrattan. Sudbury still on the power play. No score. Second period at the Hershey Center. Back to the point. Morgan flips it on the backhand. And there's a hard shot. Stopped by Mole. Taken by Derek McKenzie. And Kip Brennan gets up limping. That's Brennan with it now. Watched by Coughlin. Coughlin, nice sweeping poke check there. And they tie up. McKenzie moves in. This is the face-off artist who's done real well. Back to Morgan. Morgan, long, weak shot, but the rebound is still loose. Finally covered up by goaltender Mole, and another stoppage with 54 seconds left in the power play for Sudbury.
Well, we can see how quick Michael Mole is, but what's really impressed me so far is the ability to find loose pucks and cover them up. And as we see Sudbury starting to pull away on the shots on goal, Michael Mole's task becomes that much tougher.
Now, does that burn out a goaltender when you have that many pucks flying at you, or does it make you that much better?
Well, for a guy like Michael Mole, who has not seen a whole lot of action this year, opposed to Nick Foley, I think it's a welcomed challenge for him. A lot of guys between the pipes say the more the better.
Goldenberg for Mississauga. Can't get it out. And that's Morgan. He's been out here for the whole power play, feeding it in. And Connell is dumped. Smith falls on his own, and Savage takes over. He feeds it to the wrong team. Moving in, Morgan again. And he centered that right through the goal mouth, but nobody was free. Semenov just feeds it into the corner. And it is back to Morgan once again. 16 seconds left to go in the power play. Morgan, another weak shot. That was not deflected. And it rolled wide. Semenov from the point. Long flip shot right in front. There's an opportunity for McKenzie, and that's stopped by Mole again. Another nice save. The penalty expires just as a hard shot is taken. Rebound, a jam in front. Still loose finally. It is covered up, and a stoppage as the teams return to even strength. And the score remains 0-0.
Derek McKenzie doing a lot of the dirty work along the boards, coming out, getting a good shot on goal. And again, all you want to do is crash the net. Brennan all over Michael Mole, and he still has the ability to find the loose puck and cover it up.
Well, this is who Michael Mole has learned a great deal from. Nick Foley. Foley, we mentioned, had an off night the other night, Friday, but he is a Belleville native who has played really well. He's an overage, and they kept him just so that they could teach the youngster a thing or two, and he's got to be impressed with his teaching.
Well, there's no question about that. Just a great effort so far by Michael Moore to keep his team in the hockey game.
Spezza manages to hang on to the puck long enough to fire it off Vaillancourt and up into the seats at the Hershey Center. We were walking around here. This is really a beautiful building, and the seats, I don't know what this counts for, but it certainly counts for a lot with me when I go to a game. It's very comfortable. This building forced its team out for the first 10 games last year, and Mississauga's Icedogs, they were a new franchise, of course. They didn't win any of those 10 games. Then they came home and they played St. Michael's Majors, soon to be then at least a big cross-town rival. They beat them 4-3.
Well, you talk about entertainment centers. It certainly doesn't begin and end at the National Hockey League level. This building and this facility is outstanding. The skyboxes, the corporate support within the community. Just a first-rate organization and a first-rate building.
Jaspers clears it in for Sudbury. Mole will stop it. Ormond taking over for the white-shirted hosts this afternoon. Page up ahead for Spezza. Here's an opportunity. Spezza slips. Page goes to the net. The shot and the save made by Gorman. Well, they're going to try and get Page out of there. Back the other way comes Pyatt. It's strength against strength here.
Good back check by Wiseman to break it up.
And there's Millie and Spezza side by side. And Norm Millie is going to get a hooking penalty for his work on Jason Spezza. Skates by and says,
nice act.
For? Yeah.
That's what he's telling him. 9.5. As we see the big man going down.
Jason saying, well, I learned that at the World Championships. I had some time to sit down and watch how the, well, I don't know if I should say that or not. Sure. Watch how the Europeans do it. And some of the North Americans.
Well, you know, this man, it's only a matter of time before he comes back on this power play. Takes a quick break, catching his breath. You know, he's going to see the bulk of this power play, and if by any chance Mississauga can get a power play goal here and go up 1-0, sure would be a great lift for the goaltending of Michael Mole.
Good hockey game so far. 14 minutes to go in the second period. There is no score. Mississauga and Sudbury as it's cleared down through center ice. Semenoff took his time going back for it just to make sure that it would indeed be called icing, and it is.
All right, it's done. Time for the FedEx giveaway. Roses in the stands.
Had a nice chat with him after the game on Friday night. This is a young man who hopes to learn a great deal. I said, well, what's it like coaching against a guy like Bert Templeton? And he said, well, and then he laughed and talked about the number of games that he'd coached and the number of games that Bert has coached. But we asked him, I don't know that we grilled him, but we asked him a ton of questions and he handled them beautifully. And then you get to this guy and you want to talk about hockey. We asked him about what's wrong with hockey in Canada. I didn't put it that way because I don't know that they would agree with that off the start. But he definitely has some ideas about the way that things should be handled at a young age with hockey players, and he was a real treat to talk to. More time than we have here to go over what Bert Templeton said. No score. 1:29 left on the power play. Goldenberg with it. It goes past Coughlin and back out to center ice. And this is Omar Enafati turning in his own end. And his pass does not reach its intended. Dickinson will take over. Lou Dickinson slowly out across his own blue line. Now through center ice. McGrattan poke check nicely by Semenoff as he goes off. And Enafati retreats again. 1 minute left on the power play. And Mississauga's power play, one since Christmas. That's been it. And you may be seeing evidence of that right now. Reasons why. Sudbury just content to clear the puck around the wall, as they say in some parts of the National Hockey League, and dump it down. Ormond watched by Jaspers. Has to go in behind his own goal. This is one of the things certainly that Bert Templeton would have worked on with his team when he took over this year, is how to penalty kill, and they're doing a nice job. Now Ormond will try again. He's in across the line, but Weidman forces him there. Wide, that is. And it is back to center. Page falls down, was feeding Dickinson, who was going off the ice. That's pretty much it in the microcosm for power plays for Mississauga. Morgan for Sudbury. Spezza's back on the ice, as you predicted, Nick, and he's got it now. And then he leaves it. And Chad Wiseman says, all right, I'll move in. Wiseman, Spezza, give and go, not there. Back to the point. Ormond, rink wide, catches and penalties expired. Shot way wide. Ormond gets it again. Another shot off a skate. This is the best pressure they've had, and the penalty's over. Morgan on Spezza. Spezza uses a side, catches it, a shot, and that was just turned aside nimbly by goaltender Mike Gorman, who hasn't had much work, but he's been good when called upon. Jaspers run into the boards by Ketchison, but Millie is there trying to work in front. Jaspers trying to help him out, and it rolls weakly to the goaltender Michael Mole, and we have a stoppage in play. Still no score, almost midway in the hockey game.
I've always been set in my ways, so when Sudbury told me they were changing my Outback, I was a tad concerned. Truth is, they just made it better. This next generation Outback's got a stylish new body, quieter ride, and their best all-wheel driving system ever. It sort of inspired me to make a few changes. I think this works. The new Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon from Subaru.
Under the weather. Aches, shivers, a stuffed up head. For fast relief that's as tough on colds as Advil is on pain, help is on the way. Advil Cold and Sinus.
Now, I spoke with Mark Hepscher just moments ago, and Mark was telling me that he is watching this game and he's taping it, and he's going to make sure that he gets all of your most astute comments on Sports Central tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Ontario West and Pacific. And Nick, you've had a ton of them.
There you go. Rick McKenzie wins another draw.
And we've got our first fight of the game. It is McGrattan, number 20.
Jerry Connell.
And Jerry Connell, number 18. And they just do a short dance, and that's pretty much all there is to that. We watched the game the other night and talked about how the incidence of fighting, and more specifically perhaps, Nick, the incidence of brawling in junior hockey have really decreased.
Oh, no question. At all levels, NHL, junior, American Hockey League, International Hockey League. Well, I think they had premeditated ideas long before this face-off to go at it, but certainly, Lance, you're talking about those 5-on-5 brawls that we saw maybe 15, 20 years ago. The leagues have done a good job to clean that stuff up.
Brian McGrattan and Jerry Connell off for fighting at 8 minutes and 21 seconds of the second period in a scoreless hockey game here at Mississauga.
And you know, Bert Templeton has seen his share of 5-on-5 brawls. He's been in the business a long, long time, and he's seen the way hockey's changed. Going back to his days with Al Secord in St. Catharines and Niagara Falls.
Yeah, he has been coaching a long time, and his team is scoreless with its opponent here in Mississauga. Sudbury. Kibble's shot goes off a skate, and it is cleared to the blue line, and finally out. Here's Fraser Clare with an opportunity. But you know what? Adam Solnick couldn't stay onside. He dragged that foot for as long as he could, and it wasn't long enough. 11 minutes and 12 seconds left to go here in number 2 period.
Well, we take a look at Mike Gorman. Hasn't seen a lot of action so far, just 8 shots on goal, as it's been the story of Michael Mole at the other end, taking on the bulk of the workload between the two goalies. But definitely going to end up being the goaltender matches. We almost hit the halfway point of this hockey game with no goals scored. And again, if you coach Jim Holton of Mississauga, pretty much the type of way you got to play to win hockey games. And he talked to us earlier about finding ways to win. This should be a good game for Mississauga to find one of those ways.
B.J. Ketchison for Mississauga. Dumps it in right on goal. Gorman stopped the first one. The second one went off the goalpost. Great opportunity there for Julian Smith, number 18. Dickinson with it. Boy, that was a gift, and he couldn't put it away.
Julian Smith doing a good job getting to the net and staying on the puck, and then rattling one off the post.
Goldenberg for Lou Dickinson over his head. Brennan can't keep it out. Here's Smith again. Morgan moves in. Morgan's seen a lot of ice time on defense for Sudbury, number 28. Goldenberg back for Smith. Defensemen will see more ice time generally than the forwards because they don't move as much. Dickinson centers it in front, and there's a shot from the blue line. Moving in was John Jerem.
Good pressure by Mississauga.
And the first continuous pressure that we've seen by this team in the game. We're at the midway point, 10 minutes to go in the second period. It's scoreless. Kotsopoulos almost runs into Page, who was forced in that direction. Pyatt couldn't quite connect. It ends up in the Mississauga end anyway, and it is shot by Jerem to Spezza.
And you know, Coach Holton's sitting there now going, we're at the halfway point of the hockey game, and 3 games in 3 days for the Sudbury Wolves. This is where Mississauga should be able to now start getting an edge as the game continues in the later stages.
And the game continues into the second half. We have no score at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, Ontario.
Stick and pucks, $53. Wool caps, $42. NHL jersey, $114. 0 degrees, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Official card of the NHL and fan of the great Frozen game.
Service, always first.
Come here, let me look at it. How many? 4. Look here, look here. Go. Right, do it. Go. Where's the goal?
It's a Canadian game. Well, the good news for Mississauga is that Kyle Defoe took a roughing penalty in that last stoppage at 9 minutes and 27 seconds of this second period. But Mississauga on the power play is 0 for. They're 0 for 4. They've had 2 shots and 4 tries. And it's Semenov for Sudbury. Just to center, Spezza. Well, he'll be right back on Canadian soil by the end of this game because he's getting lots of work. Smith back in his own zone. Watched by McKenzie. Penalty killer extraordinary. He's done a great job, particularly on faceoffs. Now with a head of steam, Spezza. He's run off the ice. That's all you have to do. Remember, watch Spezza. If you can cover him, you pretty much have them beaten. Look after that first line of Mississauga, and they don't do much after that.
Jim Holton has Julian Smith, usually a forward, playing the point, hoping to add a little bit of creativity on this power play, which has been, well, pretty much awful.
Wiseman trying to work in front, gets a shot away, was going for the top corner and just missed it. Spezza behind the goal, looking for someone in front, scores from a bad angle.
Well, there's the monkey off the back. And who better to do it than Jason Spezza? Don't give this guy time or space or he will make you pay. And Gorman down.
This may be your best angle here, Nick.
Gorman down, trying to cheat. And Spezza says, no, sir, not on my watch, as he literally banks it off Gorman's back and into the net. But Gorman has to stay on his feet and cover up the net. Once he went down, he exposed the top half of the net, and that was enough for Spezza to raise the puck, bank it off Gorman's back, And Mississauga takes the 1-0 lead.
Well, and it's a power play goal, so we can shut up about the power play. How's that?
Yes, we can.
Spezza from Wiseman at 11:23 on the power play. It's 1-0 for the hosts from Mississauga over the Wolves of Sudbury. And here's an opportunity for Goldenberg. We thought that was offside, and in fact it was called down. A little bit late was the whistle, but we have the stoppage, and the play will come back inside for a face-off. The blue line of the leaders now by a score of 1-0, Mississauga.
There we take a look at Jason Spezza, and you know he's starting to get his feet back on the ground, coming over from Sweden. Chad Wiseman doing a good job getting the puck towards the net. And there's Jason Spezza there, assessing his situation, not finding a man in the open, and then saying, hey,
well,
I'll take it to the net.
I thought Nicky was going to the point. There was a guy at the blue line. I thought he's going there, and then boy, that's a clever play right off the back of the goaltender. There's one for you, kids. Thaler is upset at center ice. Moving up to take over is Coughlin for Adam Solnick. Solnick, that goes off of Semenov. Semenov manages to get a stick on it, but Claire's there to intercept. Thaler. Mississauga with some jump now. Back to the point, long shot, loose puck in front of the goal, cleared away.
Well, what we're seeing now is just a fresher Mississauga team taking it towards Sudbury. Sudbury for the last 3 days has relied heavily on their star players, and Bert Templeton had mentioned that depth will be key, and now it's up to some of the guys on the third and fourth line to really step up and make a difference.
There's a shot from a bad angle, stopped Adam Solnick with the shot. And the save made by goaltender Mike Gorman. The only goal of the contest went off his back. A nice, nifty play by Jason Spezza. Gorman is out of Nepean, Ontario, 5'10", 191 pounds. And there's the guy that did it to him just a moment or so ago.
Well, for the Sudbury Wolves, as tired as they are today, marks the first time this season that they have a chance to get to 500 hockey. We talked earlier going 0 for 5 to start the season, and with the likes of Taylor, Hyatt, Jason Jaspers, and Norm Milley, it's hard to believe that a team as talented as the Sudbury Wolves can get off to such a bad start. But it's taken Bert Templeton a while to turn this organization around, and he very much wants to see his team get to 500 hockey.
Melee shot stopped by Michael Mole. 7 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the second period. Well, wins were very hard to come by for the Mississauga Icedogs last year. They had 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken, and this year they have 5 already, and they're looking for more. It's not been a terrific way to start a new franchise. They've got the great building, and now they've got somebody that they can hang their hat on, and they've done that. Spezza in his 2 games back has scored 2 goals. He scored on Friday night as well. Hyatt for Sudbury. Leaves it in the corner. Jespers eventually got it, looking for a return pass. It comes in front, but Ormond is there, and Ormond has seen a fair bit of ice time in the second period. Weidman shoots it wide of Hyatt. Jespers off the boards. And now moving in is Milley. Another shot, and they're shooting them all from the face-off circle or just outside. And again, as we suggested in the first period, if the goaltender's playing well, and Mole is, you're not going to beat him from there. It's outside the circle, and those shots are easy if you have the angle covered, and he certainly did on this.
Well, Milley coming in and getting enough time to get a hard shot away, and usually as this game progresses, you're going to see Sudbury keep things that much more simple. When you're tired, you tend not to think, and in that aspect, you end up doing the simple things the most. So the way things are going, Michael Mole will end up seeing about 40 or 50 shots before this night's over.
Derek McKenzie out to take the face-off for Sudbury against Lou Dickinson, and McKenzie wins that one. He has not lost a face-off that I have counted yet. There's a weak shot on goal. There's an opportunity for the Wolves, but that was denied. And Sudbury slowing down a little bit offensively, as are their offensive scoring opportunities. Offside on the play was Dickinson, as Julian Smith carried it in. 6 minutes, 23 seconds left to play in period 2. And on a goal by Jason Spezza, Mississauga leads it 1-0.
Well, we take a look at Julian Smith, one of 3 overages that come to Mississauga. Smart player, great leadership, and the best part about him is he plays in all situations, as we saw earlier, taking the point on the power play.
We mentioned all of these guys are Ontario guys, the ones playing for Mississauga. And he is out of Toronto, Ontario, which, for those of you not familiar with this region of the country, is about a 15-minute drive from here. Warren Hefford is from Newfoundland, a little bit more than a 15-minute drive, leaves it for Mackenzie. Hefford's slow getting up, and as a result, here's a 2-on-1 at least. Goldenberg with Dickinson, tried to get it back to Goldenberg. Beautiful job by Semenov defensively, number 13. Dickinson feeds it in right to Mackenzie, who winds up and fires at the length of the ice. John Jerem will go back. And Mississauga can smell something. They're up by a goal, and the Sudbury Wolves are flagging just a little bit. 5:38 to go in period number 2.
Hey, look, there's George saying hello to his favorite server.
Hello.
The usual?
Yes, please.
You just ordered? Let me guess. Poppy seed bagel, toasted, and medium coffee, double-double. You're sitting down. First table, second seat.
Hello, fellas.
All our bagels are baked fresh daily. Enjoy your favorite with a medium coffee for just $1.59.
So, Doug, how's your cinnamon raisin bagel?
Good.
And Jason, your coffee? I mean, black coffee. 2 sugars.
Started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
When you get stiff, aching muscles, ever notice how the little things in life seem somehow bigger? For fast relief, remember, 1 Advil is often enough. Advil, for today's tough pain.
Back in Mississauga next Sunday, it's Red Deer against Calgary. That's a great 100 or so mile rivalry, and made better by the fact that Calgary's hitmen are a hit this year. They're #1 overall in the CHL. Here it's Mississauga and Sudbury, and 1-0 for the hosts from Mississauga. Brennan of Sudbury feeding it out. Viancourt is number 8. He's watched by Ormond. Viancourt tripped up, no call on the play, and Ormond waits. Now he'll feed it ahead. Adam Solnick. Solnick gets past his check. Now the other guys are trying to get clear. Isn't going to make any difference. Solnick lost the puck in his skates. Viancourt, rink wide. Brennan couldn't get it. And Jerem had it cleared away by the goaltender. Back to the point. Long shot by Morgan. Mole wasn't quite set for that. And Morgan knew it. McGrattan moves in, and Chris Thaler jumped 1 stride offside. One of the faster players on the Mississauga Icedogs is Chris Thaler, and Brian McGrattan did not wait.
Good odd man rush, 3-on-2, and talk about trying to stay disciplined. You got to stay onside. For the Mississauga Icedogs, odd man rushes are too far and few between, and you got to be able to get to the net, make a play on at least a 3-on-2.
While we have a moment, let's talk about some of these guys who have been drafted in the National Hockey League. Because Mississauga has a couple, so do Sudbury. Sudbury 6 NHL draftees. Hyatt, New York Islanders. Semenov, Edmonton. And that's Semenov right there, number 13. There's Hyatt, New York Islanders. That's 2 of the 6 out there right now. Another one, Jaspers, drafted by Phoenix. He's number 22 for Sudbury. So lots of guys with an opportunity to go elsewhere. And then, of course, there's Buffalo. Scores! Norm Milley! Buffalo draftee ties the game on a hard slap shot, and that's one of the reasons why he may make the National Hockey League.
Again, you're talking about their catalyst offensively, and when you get that much time, Norm Milley picks up the puck, circles, gets it right back from Semenov, and lets the big shot go. Pyatt doing all kinds of havoc in front of the net, and it was enough for Michael Mole not to pick the puck up. And we got a 1-1 hockey game. Two key guys we talked at the beginning of the game for their hockey clubs respectively, Norm Milley and Jason Spezza. We got quite a battle going on right now.
They've each scored. Here's Milley again on the backhand. Tries to take a second crack, but Mole's got that covered up.
Lance, you talked about Norm Milley being Buffalo's property, a second-round draft choice, and Buffalo having all kinds of trouble putting the puck in the net this year. And they got to feel good about the prospects of Norm Milley one day donning a Buffalo Sabre uniform, because he is a great offensive talent, and his strength is finishing plays. Second leading scorer in the OHL last year.
Milley's got to be delighted with an opportunity to play in Buffalo, because if he keeps it going, he'll certainly have that. The way the Sabres are having trouble offensively, Milley's got to be pleased in one respect that they are. Mole is pushed around a little bit by Jaspers, who's not a very big guy, but he's playing big in front of the opposition goal. And there's Pyatt, and off come the gloves. And away we go. Taylor Pyatt with his number 11 counterpart, Omar Anafati.
Taylor Pyatt trying to establish position in front of the net. And he ends up going with Omar, and a pretty good punch is being landed here.
They didn't have many face shields when you played either, did they, Nick?
Face shields, what are those?
Well, that's our second such of the game. As you'd be a bit surprised, I guess, that Sudbury has come up with the extra oomph in the second period, but they've come up with enough to tie the game.
For every guy who knows clean is a relative term. For every guy with the ability to follow more than 3 programs at once. For every guy who sees no reason to dirty another glass. And for every guy who'd rather not spend the weekend in a mall, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango. It's good to be a guy.
Welcome to my Hall of Fame. Home of the quickest, most awesome player to ever hit the ice. The place where with one unexpected move, I can single-handedly bring thousands to their feet. What's your dream?
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 5,000 kilometers because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car, you want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 5,000 kilometers, under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State, it's been tested, it works. What more do you need to know?
It's time to play the Dodge Trivia Contest. Win this Dodge Caravan 26T Family Value Package minivan to be given away in our Memorial Cup telecast on CTV Sunday, May 28th. Or win a Roots Leather Melton CHL jacket or a Nike training suit. Phone now and answer this trivia question. Who holds the Sudbury Wolves record for most points in a season? Ron Duguay, Mike Foligno, Dale Hunter. To enter, phone 1-900-451-5297. And there is Norm Milley in the penalty box. As they sort out the rough stuff, Milley's Bert Templeton, I think, is trying to explain, look, it wasn't Norm Milley. It wasn't my best guy. Here's who was on the ice. and it wasn't him.
Well, Bert's not happy. He's lost 2 of his key players. Taylor Pyatt off for 5 minutes at least for fighting, and Norm Millie for 2 minutes. So
well, while they continue to sort that out, the play continues, and we play 5 skaters aside here. 3 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the second period of a pretty good 1-1 hockey game. We thought Sudbury might be getting just a little bit down and a little bit tired, but they've come back to tie it. Here's a chance for McKenzie, right up close, and he went for the corner and missed. Ketchison gets it past McKenzie. A little digger who's had a great game. Dickinson sidesteps one check from Connell. And it is McKenzie working along the near side to Weidman. Dennis Weidman, number 7, being watched by 2 Mississauga players. Off the boards. Connell can't get it out. Morgan, the captain, banks it off the area behind the goaltender, and Savage couldn't pick it up. It ends up with Jerem. John Jerem, number 5. Back to Ketchison, back to Smith. Smith works it in now. Goldenberg going for the net. And McKenzie intercepts that, and here's an opportunity. Moving up to take the pass is number 23 for the Sudbury Wolves, Sebastian Savage, but he was skated nicely off the puck. McKenzie gets it again. Boy, this guy wins face-off, skates hard. He's a good, fast skater and plays bigger than his size. Not a big player at all. Big heart. And that's all that matters, really. Gorman leaves it. Defoe out there again. Semenov, Brennan. But he's by himself. Nathan Calverta's out there. We haven't seen much of him. Number 24 skates to the front of the net, along with defense partner Coughlin. So they've got that area cleared, and Calverta gets it now for Brian McGrattan. Back to Calverta. Here he is on the offense, and that doesn't work. Coughlin for Mississauga, 1-1 hockey game. Just more than 2 minutes left to go. It bounces in on goaltender Gorman. Defoe behind the back for Semenov. McGrattan runs him. There's 2 big men. Remember, Semenov is 6'6". And Mike Viancourt tripped up, gets the puck inside the offensive zone for Sudbury. Mole leaves it for Ormond. Sudbury making changes. McGrattan is stopped just outside his blue line twice. In fact, Morgan carries it in. Morgan is bodied. Mobile, R.A. Mobile. He's out of Illinois. This is his first shift. Long shot by Weidman. Scores! Dennis Weidman, and it's 2-1 Sudbury.
Big shot by Dennis Weidman. Enables his Sudbury Wolves to take a 2-1 lead, but we mentioned R.A. Mobile, a guy that has not seen a lot of ice time this game. Makes a huge play here, establishes good position, finds his point man, and Dennis Weidman lets it go. Mobile, strong on the puck, and a great one-timer by Dennis Weidman.
Weidman's
16-year-old underage, second-round pick in '99 for Bert Templeton. A guy that's seeing more ice time due to injuries, and his confidence has blossomed because of it.
Dennis Weidman gives Sudbury a 2-1 lead. They were trailing 1-0 after a goal by Jason Spetsa. Norm Millie made it 1-1, and Weidman, with his second goal of the season, 1:28 left to go now in the second period, has made it a 1-goal hockey game in favor of the visitors from Sudbury. And this man looked like he had it going his way for a while, but Jim Holton has got to be disappointed that the visitors came back with 2 before the period was out. Not over yet. A minute and a half to go in the second. Well, here we go. Get out there and don't dance. We talked about face shields, and there's Scott Page's sort of coming off. He's with Kip Brennan. These are 2 big guys again.
Well, Scott Page has run shotgun for Jason Spetsa and Chad Wiseman all season long, and he's the physical guy, and we're seeing why he plays on that line.
Page is 6'2", 205. Brennan, first name Kip. I asked him today, I said, Kip, is that your real name? And he said, yeah. And then I said, well, what does it say in your birth certificate? And he said, well, Christopher, but don't say that on national television.
Well, we see Scott Page heading towards the dressing room, and he is known as the heart and soul of this Mississauga hockey club. A very emotional guy, and with the score 2-1, he adds a little spark and a little message to his bench that says, we may be down now, but this is far from over, boys.
Well, you can see it.
They're asking each other about the holiday season right now, and obviously someone didn't receive someone's Christmas card, and he took exception because of it.
Oh, lost in the mail or something. And what is it exactly that they say? You've been in a couple of those. What is it?
Oh,
you want to go?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know what's being said.
You don't want to tell me.
I'll tell you, nothing sacred. Nothing sacred in this game when you reach levels of this magnitude here. You will do and say anything to get an edge against your opponent.
Well, whatever they said is no big deal, but what they did was earn themselves some time off. 2-1 the score at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. Sudbury and the Mississauga Icedogs. Jerry Connell clears it to the blue line. Norm Milley, who's got 1 goal already, is after his second. His team now up 2-1. Here's an opportunity on the backhand if he can get it turned around, and we go again on the far side. Jason Jaspers, boy, there's a big edge in size there. Jaspers going against John Jerem. Pretty good for number 22, Sudbury. I got him in here at 6 foot, 180 pounds, but I don't think he quite made 6 feet yet. But Jerem is listed a little bit bigger than that. It's around 6'1", 190, and this occurs behind the play. That would have been the first of it right there. The hook under the arm, and then one back and a punch to go with it, and then a slash. They let their sticks do the talking there. There wasn't a lot of yapping going on that time. They just decided to drop them. And
well, that's one way to slow down the big line of Norm Milley, Taylor Pyatt, and Jason Jaspers. But John Jerem taking no exception to the stick work, and they go off. And I'd sooner have it settled that way than watching two guys swing their sticks for the rest of the game. So at least that's my view, Lance. How about you?
Oh, I'm a complete, anybody who's ever played hockey with me knows I'm a complete pacifist. I simply like to just skate and pass the puck. I don't like any contact whatsoever. Yeah, okay, well. Coming up in our second intermission, we'll be talking about anything but my career as a hockey player. If I'm not careful, my career as a broadcaster may be in jeopardy too. We're going to have a chat with Norm Milley, which will be interesting given what he's done here in the second period. And we're going to have the CHL Extra. As promised, we're going to talk about the Western Hockey League. And we're going to have a quick chat about Sports Central.
Well, John Jerem ends up with the extra 2 minutes off that last exchange. And it's real important for Mississauga that they at least go into this period down only by a goal.
Well, they got a power play goal for the only the second time since Christmas today, so that's one bit of good news for Coach Jim Holton and his crew. And now let's see if they can get through a penalty kill here with the second period winding down. We had penalties that bridged the gap between the first and second period, and we're going to have it happen again because unless somebody scores here, this one, and that would be Sudbury in this case, this one will continue into the third period. There they go to work on the power play. The Sudbury Wolves up by 2-1. Less than a minute to go in the period. There's a shot that doesn't get through by McKenzie. Milley's got it. Looking for Connell in front. May go back to Semenov. Now circling. One thing they don't do is circle the puck much. That comes back in front of the give and go to Milley, and that is wide. Morgan with it.
Boy, we've seen a lot of Brad Morgan this period, jumping up every opportunity and obviously quarterbacking the power play.
And the Icedogs doing a good job of covering, but they can't get the puck out of their own end. 25 seconds left in the period. Back to Morgan, a shot, and that's wide. Rebound, Semenov shoots high, but Mole had that covered. There's another shot, point blank by Connell, and Mole stopped that. Goldenberg works it to center and decides why not just lift it slowly down the ice with 10 seconds left in the period. Sudbury will not likely get another shot on goal before the second period is done. It's been a period finally of some scoring. Smith almost got through as the buzzer goes. Some scoring here, 3 goals in fact. It was scoreless after 1. It's now 2-1. And also a little bit of the rough stuff, some more emotion. So things heating up just a little bit on the score sheet and on the penalty timekeepers sheet.
Well, after 2 periods, this man here has seen 30 shots on goal, 2 of them getting past him, but he's put his team in a position where they're very much in the hockey game. A solid 20 minutes to go. Mississauga can still come out on top.
And Bert Templeton's club looking for its 4th victory in a row and 3 in less than 3 full days. It's 2-1 Sudbury over Mississauga after 2 at the Hershey Center.
Meet the new power in full-size pickups. Toyota Tundra. The first 32-valve V8 ever put in a full-size pickup. The 245 horsepower I-Force engine for the fastest acceleration and the most torque in its class.
Look out. Oh!
Tundra. It takes everything you've got.
Hey, Mr. Ricky.
Boys, I want you to meet someone. Outstanding athlete, a former 2nd lieutenant in the United States Army, and your new second baseman, Jackie Robinson.
Hi, gentlemen.
Et maintenant, va donc pour you. And now back to the Royals. Le deuxième but, the second baseman, Jackie Robinson.
Record numbers of cheering Montrealers helped Jackie Robinson break baseball's color bar that year. He never forgot the city that launched his journey to baseball's Hall of Fame.
Back in Mississauga, our NHL game night next. Buffalo against Boston, 2 teams who have really been struggling. The Bruins especially lately, and they weren't expected to. Buffalo, I suppose, not so much either. It's January the 13th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on CTV Sportsnet. And this is one of the guys that Buffalo is looking forward to having in the lineup someday. That was a great shot, Norm Miller.
Thanks a lot. He just got lucky there in front of the net. You know, the high slot, I got the puck and just fired at the net because, you know, the goalie's been really hot lately, and so our goal was to get fired at the puck at the net and keep it shooting. And we had a lot of traffic in front, and then fortunately went in.
Let's talk about your experiences, if we can, for a moment with the Buffalo Sabres. How's it been so far with them?
Oh, it's been real great. You know, I was up at camp this year, and you know, it makes you realize how much harder you have to work to get to the next level. And you know, playing with players like Mike Pekka and Sanderson, it's just a joy out there. And again, it makes you realize how much harder you have to work to get to the next level.
What specifically do you need to work on in order to get to that next level? The scoring looks pretty good.
The main thing is consistency. You have to go in, game out, and give 100%. You know, you can't take any nights off if you want to play in the NHL. So you know, that's one of my goals this year is to play hard every night, and hopefully the team continue to do well.
Quickly on this game, we thought during part of that second period when the other team was up 1-0 that you guys looked a little bit tired, but you came back and you had some help and put things together. How are you going into the third period?
Oh, we are a little bit tired, but you know, we can't have any excuses for ourselves. It's we need one more game to get back to 500, so we're going to go you know, all cylinders in the third period. We got a week to rest, so you know, we're going to go hard in the third period.
Well, thank you very much. I know you want to get back there for the last of whatever Bert has to say, because that's always fascinating. We'll let you go. Congratulations on your goal here, and good luck the rest of the way, Norm.
Thank you very much.
Norm Milley of the Buffalo Sabres, if you will, and also of the Sudbury Wolves. And his Wolves lead it by a count of 2-1. There you see one of the differences in scoring chances. The Wolves also with 2 goals, 2 minutes, 52 seconds of the second period, and that was after Jason Spezza had scored to make it 1-0. And also, as we mentioned, it's getting a little bit rougher out there. And it's becoming a better hockey game as we go along, so we can hardly wait for the third period. Once again, the score here through 40, Sudbury leading it by 1 goal.
Hey, look, there's George saying hello to his
Hello.
The usual?
Yes, please.
You just ordered? Let me guess. Poppy seed bagel, toasted, and medium coffee, double-double. Sitting down. First table, second seat.
Hello, fellas.
All our bagels are baked fresh daily. Enjoy your favorite with a medium coffee for just $1.59.
So, Doug, how's your cinnamon raisin bagel?
Good.
And Jason, your coffee? I mean, black coffee. 2 sugars.
Stick and pucks, $53. Wool caps, $42. NHL jersey, $114. 0 degrees, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Official card of the NHL and fan of the great frozen game.
I am the Rocky Mountains. 100 million years I have stood here. This I know. Lead with the left, follow with the right. Buy low, sell high. Look for windows of opportunity. Take the road less traveled. Keep your stick on the ice. The grass really is greener on the other side. And always maintain an open door policy.
Coors Light, call of the Rockies.
Thought I'd let my friends here help demonstrate a few key points of the Subaru Forester. Go ahead, boys. First, there's the added traction of full-time all-wheel drive. Better cornering than a Lexus RX 300. And did I mention it got the highest rating in its class in recent crash tests?
That's gotta hurt.
Subaru Forester. Sport utility tough, car easy.
I'm Darren Millard, host of the Hockey News Show. Just when you thought Team North America had a shot at winning the All-Star game, we have word Dominik Hasek may be coming back. Sidelined with the horrible groin injury throughout this season, Hasek is the leading vote-getter among goaltenders for the World Team. Despite only playing 9 games, it brings up an interesting question. Should he deserve to be on the All-Star team? Email us, hockeynews@ctv.ca with the answer. We'll give you the results in the Hockey News Show.
CHL Extra brought to you by Toyota and its dealers across Canada. A look this second intermission at the Western Hockey League, and it's all about the Foothills Flyers. The Calgary Hitmen, #1. They have 2 of the top scorers. Pavel Brendel, more than 2 points per game. And Brad Moran right behind. Swift Current's Jeremy Reich. His team leads the East Division. He brings up the top 5. And 5 of Calgary's players are all-stars. A reminder that we've got that All-Star game right here on Sportsnet. It's January 19 in the heart of the Okanagan at Kelowna. Save me a seat. Captain Brad Moran makes his 3rd straight appearance. Brendel goes a 2nd time for Calgary. And there is talk of the Western Hockey League going back to Vancouver. Well, before Nick was born, actually, when I was covering the New Westminster Bruins, they were at Queen's Park. And I watched the likes of Cliff Ronning make their way quickly and steadily to the National Hockey League. This time, Pat Quinn and Gordie Howe are reported part of Ron Toigo's bid to return a franchise to the Vancouver area. And if they do, let's hope that it's an arena much like this one and not so much like the old Queen's Park barn. But it was a great place to watch a hockey game in New Westminster. And we'll be watching, I'm sure, if it comes to Vancouver, the likes of great players like this. What a great play that was. Jason Spezza puts his team on the board, his 2nd goal in 2 games since coming back from the World Junior Championship.
Stick and pucks, $53. Wool caps, $42. NHL jersey, $114. 0 degrees, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Official card of the NHL and fan of the great frozen game.
Jim Simple, Agent 43, reporting for duty.
Our mission is simple, to show Canadians how to save without switching on long-distance calls with Buck-a Call. Just dial 101-5566, then 1, then the number. It's just a Buck-a Call for every 15 minutes or less. anytime to anywhere in Canada. The charges appear on your local phone bill. Dial 101-5566 and save without switching.
Auto Parts, Auto Parts, Auto Parts. For quality, we have the line for top performance every time. Superior parts for every type of range, you know, it's built just right. Auto Parts, Auto Parts.
Installed at Auto Pro and UAP Napa member installers.
In racing or on the road, top quality replacement parts are a must, which is why I recommend the full range of UAP Napa parts. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Look out, motorists. Old Man Winter's out to get you.
You're cold and cruel and you don't fight fair. That's okay, she's my care.
No matter what winter throws at you, Prestone Antifreeze is how you fight back.
Hit me with your best shot.
Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 64 below.
Hit me with your best shot.
Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
I'm Darren Millard, host of the Hockey News Show. Just when you thought Team North America had a shot at winning the All-Star game, we have word Dominik Hasek may be coming back. Sidelined with the horrible groin injury throughout this season, Hasek is the leading vote-getter among goaltenders for the World Team, despite only playing 9 games. It brings up an interesting question. Should he deserve to be on the All-Star team? Email us, hockeynews@ctv.ca with the answer. We'll give you the results of the Hockey News Show.
Our play of the period brought to you by CCM, When You're Born play. Well, they were born to score in the second period. We had 3 goals. It was 1-1 after Norm Millie had scored, and Dennis Weidman comes up with this one-timer far side. 2 minutes and 52 seconds after Millie had scored. The Wolves of Sudbury had a lead for the first time in the hockey game, and they carry that through to the third period. 2-1, Sudbury over Mississauga, third period to come.
Look out, motorists. Old Man Winter's out to get you.
You're cold and cruel and you don't fight fair. That's okay, she's my care.
No matter what winter throws at you, Prestone Antifreeze is how you fight back.
Hit me with your best shot.
Kick Old Man Winter in the teeth with the #1 way to fight corrosion and protect your aluminum radiator to 64 below.
Hit me with your best shot.
Get in the Prestone zone so nothing can stop you now.
Started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
When disaster strikes, help can't arrive fast enough. But when the emergency is over, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families will be there. By bringing resources and people together in times of crisis, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families helps families when they need it most. Across the community and across Canada, picking up the pieces and putting lives back together. That's the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's Thrifty. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
CHL Sunday on CTV Sportsnet is presented in part by Bolson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. And by Sherwood, proud to serve the hockey world.
We're in the heart of Hershey. Well, it's not Hershey, PA. It's Hershey, ON, Mississauga, Ontario, where the Icedogs and Don Cherry call home.
I can tell you the difference between Hershey, Pennsylvania and Hershey.
No, I was waiting for you to jump in there.
Won a championship there, 1988.
And you scored
24 goals that season.
That a boy. All right. Look at that for a memory.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something
That's
we
not
remember.
the only ring I wear. I Calder Cup ring.
Yeah, you just didn't want to show off, I know. Second period stats brought to you by Coho, makers of the new 3380 titanium skates. Coho, a whole new game. Well, Jason Spezza off the back and in on a power play. Welcome news, that power play goal from Mississauga. But Norm Milley came back with his 27th, and a particular note there, Nick, as we look at Weidman's goal as well. Let's talk about Milley for a moment. He's got 6 goals in 3 games against these guys. He is really hot against Mississauga.
And at times this team has struggled offensively, but it's taken a while for Norm Milley to get going again, and obviously he's running on all cylinders now. No question his strengths are offensively, his shot and the ability to finish plays, and we've seen that this afternoon.
You played up in North Bay.
I played up in North Bay.
Junior in North Bay. What is key to making the transition to the National Hockey League for a guy like Norm Milley?
Well, you know, I think Norm hit it on the head in your interview. It's a consistent thing. No one will ever question Norm Milley and his abilities to play the game, but it's the players that can do it game in, game out on a real consistent basis. In the NHL, teams are not patient. A guy like Norm Milley has to go up there and contribute offensively right away, or else, you know, he won't be there that long. They're not very patient people. But in the meantime, if a guy like Norm Milley doesn't score and he finds other ways to contribute, then you got a chance to stay in the NHL.
As we start this third period, Mississauga trying to kill off the last 30 seconds of a penalty. And they're doing well so far. Milley back out there again for Sudbury. That goes over the outstretched hand of Morgan. And he retreats with 15 seconds left in the power play for Sudbury. Now he starts up to Milley. They're always looking for him. Milley fires it in. Jerry Connell after it. Tried to get a shot away. Couldn't. And it's cleared down the ice by Smith. 3 seconds, 2, and the penalty has expired as Calverta steps right back into the play and almost into Milley. Ketchison, number 23, with the puck to Wiseman for Mississauga. They need a goal. They're down 1. Calverta missed the relay. Morgan, that went off a skate. And Dennis Weidman, who has one of the goals for the Sudbury Wolves. He's got the go-ahead with the puck. High and out to center ice. Ketchison, Orman.
Well, Lance, you know, the tendency for Mississauga, being a young team, is to try to hit the home run early here in the third period. But the important thing is that they're in a hockey game here, and they just got to be patient and find a way to get their chances and eventually capitalize.
Sudbury trying to win this game. It would be their 3rd in less than 3 days, and it would also bring them to 500 for the season. Not bad for a club which started 0-5. Warren Hefford going 1-on-3. That's not going to work. David Dalliday, the relay, ends up with Spezza, but he has to stop at the blue line, using that large, lanky frame to stay onside, dump back deep into the Icedogs zone. And Michael Moll, who had an outstanding first period, let a couple by him in the second, but neither were his fault. Milley intercepts. Milley in across the blue line, trying to get in front, drops it back, and a shot by number 16 for the Sudbury Wolves, Derek McKenzie, who's been so great on faceoffs, was just wide. Drew Kibble, number 24, watched by Jason Goldenberg. McKenzie, lost an edge. Milley was there, but he couldn't follow up. Now McKenzie gets it back. He turns, tries to avoid a teammate, and does. That's Connell. Milley's still out there. Ketchison's still out there as well. And it is B.J. Ketchison right through center ice. Here's Lou Dickinson trying to make a break for it. Is he in on goal? Yes, he is, but he couldn't follow up as Semenov, the big defenseman for Sudbury, was there to cover his man, and we've got a face-off outside the blue line and a good scoring opportunity for Lou Dickinson, who told us before the game he wanted to get it going tonight.
Once again, Lou Dickinson showing that burst of speed, long strides, long powerful strides, and Brian McGrattan getting good positioning but just missing that rebound. And again, you talked about, we talked earlier about consistency. That's one of the main reasons why every once in a while Jim Holton will pull the reins back on a guy like Lou Dickinson. Although he's 2 years removed from Bantam hockey, he still has to find ways to bring it to the table every night.
That's why he was benched for 2 periods on Friday. He said he didn't understand why, but the coach thought he knew better. And Jim Holton never said a word to one of what he hopes will be his star players in the future, Lou Dickinson. Got all the tools, he said. This needs, as Nick suggests, to be consistent. Another stoppage in play. 16:46 to go here in period 3. And Sudbury up 1 at 2-1.
We get a chance to look at Tom Tsopoulos, who's played a pretty good role here the last little while for Bert Templeton in the checking department. Great skater, an antagonist, and he says that his favorite player is Matthew Barnaby. And we all know what kind of player he is and the ability to get under the opponent's skin.
Well, that's a new one on me. I haven't heard too many people say they want to be Matthew Barnaby, but he does that. Yeah, he gets under people's skin, that's for sure. That's the short of it, I suppose. Orman clears it in for Mississauga. Millie has it. Now you can expect to see a lot of ice time. These guys, remember, 3 games in 3 days, but he'll be out there for, I imagine, much of this 3rd period. And there is a pass picked off by Brad Morgan, the captain. Morgan in for Katsopoulos. Taylor Pyatt going behind the goal, gets the pass, looking for someone to feed the puck to. Just dumps it in behind. Millie's got it. We talked about cycling the puck. We haven't seen much of it. Some of it right now. As Pyatt's got it again, and there's Millie waiting for the pass, gets it. Katsopoulos is out in front. The back pass didn't work. Millie goes down. That's Spezza on him. Orman goes in there, and Orman's getting lots of ice time today. Off the skate of Spezza, gets it back. Jason Spezza with Wiseman on his right. They cross over. There's the feed for Wiseman. Wiseman didn't know it was there. And that's happened many times before. Great feed by Spezza, but the winger he's with does not know that the puck is in his skates. Nice play. No fruition. Down the ice it goes. Back forward is Semenov. He touches it. We've got an icing call and 15:22 left to play here in the 3rd period of a game that this young man's team trails by 1 at 2-1.
I am a living legend. My goalie stick is my sword and my shield. My mask, my armor protect me from enemy fire. When players approach the net, they don't see a goaltender, they see a fortress. The hockey rink is my kingdom, and I am its guardian. What's your dream?
Meet the new power in full-size pickups, Toyota Tundra. The first 32-valve V8 ever put in a full-size pickup. The 245 horsepower I-Force engine for the fastest acceleration and the most torque in its class.
Look out. Oh!
Tundra. It takes everything you've got.
It's a Canadian game.
Promotional consideration by Best Western. Canadian hockey's home away from home.
Okay, there is Derek McKenzie. Now, Nick, this guy hasn't lost a faceoff. You tell me what he does right here. Look at that.
Tremendous speed. Hand speed's great on the faceoff of Derek McKenzie. And I tell you what, you win a draw, like they're a scoring opportunity just because of a one faceoff. Offensively, it means scoring chances. Defensively, it means getting the puck out of your own zone. And again, he's a patient guy, and the speed of his hands literally won that draw. And there's other times where you're going to need your muscle, particularly your forearms, your upper body. But right now, Derek McKenzie does something better than most guys, and that is move his hands quick.
I wouldn't say he won that one close to a draw, but we'll give that one to Mississauga. So if in fact that's a loss, that's the first one this game so far. His team leads at 2-1. Sudbury in front of Mississauga here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, 2-1. Here is a 3-on-2. Breaking out, Savage. After him is Ketchison. Nice diving play, and he's got the puck to boot. And McKenzie circles, doesn't follow up. You know what? Derek McKenzie's having trouble with his skates because that's the second time he's spiraled out of control by himself. Gorman shoots it around the corner, and that's off a skate and out to center ice. Mississauga needs a goal to tie this. They lost at home on Friday. They have won just 5 games all season long, and they have an opportunity. They're in this one. In fact, they're right in front of the opposition goal there, but not for long. Anna Fadi, who's been in the thick of it here, one fight so far this afternoon. Morgan for Sudbury to Norm Millie, who's got one already. Centers it, Pyatt on the backhand, shot it wide. Vaillancourt. Thaler to center ice. And Mike Vaillancourt will try again. Dennis Weidman, who's got one of the other goals for Sudbury. They only have 2, so he has the other. Orman, watched by Vaillancourt. He was careful not to hit him hard from behind. He got one of those penalties called already, too, checking from behind. Sudbury comes out with it. There's a chance in front of the goal for Vaillancourt. Can't get it. Weidman keeps it in. Here's Millie turning. It's a 3-on-2 if he moves quickly. Not quickly enough, but it's back to the point. There's a long shot by Weidman, and that goes wide of the goal. It is scooped up and taken by Goldenberg now to center. Smith, nice move. Julian Smith gets the shot off. It's a weak one. He was being pestered by Morgan. Did a nice job defending. But some good effort there, especially on the first defender by Julian Smith, number 18. Ketchison can't keep it in. Here comes Millie. Look out. Norm Millie in a foot race. Beats his man. Norm Millie going to the net. And a nice poke check by Matt Coughlin, number 6, to Dickinson. Forwards it to Goldenberg. Back to Dickinson at center ice. Lou Dickinson just out on the ice. Moves around one man. Falls down. Nothing comes of that. Page moves in for Ketchison. Shot stopped. And again, the rangy defenseman Semenov helping out. To Kibble. Drew Kibble. It's K-I-V-E-L-L, but we asked him, and he said, no, you pronounce it Kibble. And Nick and I both turned to each other and said, like kibbles and bits. Here's a bit of action in the Mississauga zone. Wiseman now returns the favor. Across center ice, he's by himself. Chad Wiseman stops, shoots, save made by Sudbury's Mike Gorman. It's time to play the Dodge Trivia Contest. Win this Dodge Caravan 2016 Family Value Package minivan to be given away in our Memorial Cup telecast on CTV Sunday, May 28th. Or win a Roots Leather Melton CHL jacket or a Nike training suit. Phone now and answer this trivia question. Who holds the Sudbury Wolves record for most points in a season? Ron Duguay, Mike Foligno, Dale Hunter. To enter, phone 1-900-451-5297. Back at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, and Norm Millie's team, he scored one of the goals, leads by a count of 2-1 Sudbury after their 4th victory in a row. And in there to help out is Taylor Pyatt, who managed to stay up when run at along the boards. And we do have some milling around and pushing and shoving in behind the play, and we've got one high sticking penalty.
Scott Page will see 2 minutes in the box as he'll go off for high sticking. And again, Bert Templeton leaning heavily on Norm Millie's line, and he figures, hey, if we've got the puck offensively, Mississauga can't score. And there Scott Page tries to finish on Taylor Pyatt, gets a stick a little high. And once again, Michael Moll will be called upon to keep his team in the hockey game.
At 7 minutes and 47 seconds of this third period, the Mississauga Icedogs down a goal or down a man. And Bert Templeton sends out on his power play Jason Jaspers. Taylor Pyatt. Brad Morgan is out there. Millie is at the bench just getting some equipment fixed. He's got 2 helmets, and he gets the second one put on, and the trainers go to work on the first one. So he's set to go, as are we. Face off to the right of a goaltender who had a good first period, Michael Moll. Not a bad second period. His club down by 1. Semenov, nice pass to Morgan. Lots of room. Couldn't control it. Now he goes rink wide in front. Pyatt scores! What beautiful passing by the Sudbury Wolves. It finished Millie to Taylor Pyatt.
Taylor Pyatt finishing it off. But one guy this afternoon, Lance, Brad Morgan, has really impressed me. Here he gets the puck here. Boggles it a little bit, but then sends a rocket over to Millie, and Millie finds his big man in front of the net all alone. And Taylor Pyatt makes no mistake, but there's no way, even shorthanded, that Taylor Pyatt should get that type of room in front of the net. But that all happened because Brad Morgan sent a 40-foot pass right on the tape.
It also happened because Scott Page took a penalty. Here's McKenzie, a long shot. Mole gets a toe on that. The rebound right in front. Another save by Michael Mole, just trying to keep his team in it now. It's 3-1 Sudbury, and they are pressing for more. 11 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in the third period. Mole doesn't know whether he should play it or not. Doesn't have any choice. And Omar Anafati sizes up the situation from behind his netminder. Across the blue line through center ice. That was intended for Smith. It'll go all the way down. Semenov's back there to check it. And we move the luggage down to the other end of the runway.
There we take a look at New York Islanders' first round pick and their second pick in the first round, Taylor Pyatt. And what's impressed me the most about this kid is not just his skill, but his grit that he brings along. And there's no question that the Islanders are reloading their organization, and you know he will be a big part of it.
Pyatt, Semenov, Jaspers, McKenzie, Millie, Brennan, all NHL draftees, 6 of them playing for the Sudbury Wolves, and several of them have had big moments in this contest, and as a result their team up by a count of 3-1. 11 minutes left to play in the third period. Yeah, it's a tough thing when you're starting out. You've got a new franchise, brand new building, and you know you're going to lose a few. Then you change coaches last year. Jim Holton comes in and tries to get things reorganized and says, you know, we're close. We've been close in so many games this year. 7 or 8 games have been 1-goal games. We're just a step away, but I honestly think it's going to turn around. And boy, that's got to be very, very hard on the nerves, but he's handled it very well so far.
And there are things that Jim Holton has stretched out that he has liked. And from a competitive aspect, the team has been a lot better than they have in previous games, and that's always a good sign, especially with a young hockey club.
Sudbury pressing again. Pyatt mixing it up in there. And here's Jaspers. It goes off a skate. Right in front is Millie. Oh, he tried to go again to Taylor Pyatt. Maybe thought once too often there. Millie, Taylor Pyatt, Jason Jaspers all over the Mississauga Icedogs in this third period.
Well, it's one thing to turn over the puck, but it's another when it's against this guy's, Norm Millie's line. And again, Taylor Pyatt has established positioning in front of the net all day. And Norm Millie with a pretty nifty pass to get the puck back over to Taylor Pyatt. Didn't get that much on net, but it was enough to cause havoc for Michael Mole.
That's a tough kid to knock off his feet, too. 6'4", 215 out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. Taylor Pyatt. Brian McGrattan is another big one. He's out there now with Fraser Clare. Clare back to McGrattan. Taylor is out there as well for Mississauga. They're down 2, 10 minutes. And change left to go here in the third. Anafati. Forced out. He's got Clare on one side and Thaler on the other, and he passes to neither. Vaillancourt can't pick it up. And it's Semenov, and another whistle on I believe it was a delayed offside, so we've got another stoppage in play. Midway through the third period. One of
Take a
two
look
Russian
at
players, I was going to say.
Alexei Semenov. And he started pretty slow last year, but he ended up by far being Bert Templeton's best defenseman. And at 6'6", to have great mobility is quite a thing to have in your back pocket. And you mentioned big defensemen that are mobile and take a little more time to develop than others, but once they get there, boy, they're an asset to a hockey club.
Member of the gold medal Russian team last season. Alexei Semenov, number 13 of the Sudbury Wolves. Dickinson in across the line, tries to make a move. That goes nowhere. Shot around the far side. Orman. He's got Enifati, and that's where it goes. Up through center ice. Dumps it in. And Morgan, and you know what? If that's all they're going to do, that'll just suit Sudbury beautifully. You dump it in, we'll clear it out. Thank you very much for the 2 points in the win. Morgan follows up for Sudbury. The Wolves with 2 goals after Mississauga opened the scoring in the second period on a goal by Jason Spezza, his second in 2 games, and then after that it's been all Sudbury. 2 goals in that second period and then 1 in this third now, and they've opened the wound to 2 at 3-1.
With less than 10 minutes to go here in the third period, and again 3 games in 3 days. We see Bert Templeton now just sending 1 guy on the forecheck. And it's going to make it that much harder for Mississauga to get any sustained pressure.
He'll be saying quick changes on the bench now too, boys. Hyatt centers it in front. Jaspers hadn't caught up to it. Now he does. Rings it back. It was high on the boards, but that's an indication of just how tall Taylor Pyatt is on his skates. And Dennis Weidman returns with the puck. Will he get it by Ketchison? Yes, he does. Jaspers with Millie waiting at the blue line. It went towards him, but wasn't that close, about 10 feet away. Millie gets it anyway in the center ice area. And it's past the puck time. If something opens up, that's fine. And this is one of the benchmarks of a well-coached team. Once you get up by a couple of goals, if you know what to do with the puck when you get in and what to do without, then you can just play catch. In this case, pass and pass and pass. If you get a scoring opportunity, fine. One of the things the Europeans do so well, Millie through center ice. Dumps it in. Mole stops it. Mississauga really needs something to give them some jump. 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third period. Katsopoulos loses it, but Kibble's there. Thaler is tied up. Ketchison will fire it in, and we've got another offside and another break in the play. Bert Templeton's got to be pretty happy. His club's close to winning 4 in a row.
Easy now. Meet the new power in full-size pickups. Toyota Tundra. The first 32-valve V8 ever put in a full-size pickup. The 245 horsepower I-Force engine for the fastest acceleration and the most torque in its class. Look out! Oh! Tundra. Yep. It takes everything you've got. Under the weather. Aches, shivers, a stuffed up head. For fast relief that's as tough on colds as Advil is on pain, help is on the way. Advil Cold and Sinus.
A reminder, all the sports, what is sports with Mark Hebscher, Sports Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, 6:30 Ontario West, and out on the left coast. I never liked that term. I don't know why I use it. 3-1 the score, third period. It's Mississauga needing some goals in a hurry here, and they haven't mustered much in the third period.
And we see the start of what Alexei Semenov. Big finish on McGrattan. Great open ice hit. And of course, McGrattan not liking that too much. But you certainly see why Edmonton's excited about their second round pick at 6'6", to be able to knock a big guy like McGrattan off the ice. Great job.
Well, and Brian McGrattan is no slouch. But when you're 6'6", you just wait for the body weight at this particular age group. And when that comes along, you oh, it must be nice, you know, to go as a junior and tower over everybody at an NHL camp. I wonder what that feels like. I'll never know, of course.
Me neither. Barely 6 feet.
Yeah, but you played bigger than 6 feet.
Well, thank you, man.
Oh, you're all 6'1.5" Mitch.
I just might have to buy you a soft drink after the show.
That's what it took. I've been working on that for 3 periods. There's the hit once again by Semenoff. He almost took out 2. I think that's linesman D'Amico that he almost collided. Well, he did collide with him, but just gently. Earning his stripes in the National Hockey League in more ways than one. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. Semenoff off for a bit of a rest. Katsopoulos, his teammate, moves the puck inside. This is Kip Brennan trying to center it in front. It went off a skate, and that almost worked out beautifully for Vaillancourt. Out at center once again. That's where most of the play has been in this 3rd period. That's fine by Sudbury. There's a long shot by Lou Dickinson. Oh, that was a dandy and missed by about a foot.
Mike Gorman just got a piece of it with his left foot.
There's
made
Orman.
One of his best saves of the day.
Well, that's something to file away. You've only got 6 and change to do it, but that low shot to the far side looked pretty good, and there was room there. Brad Morgan starts out for Sudbury, feeding Jerry Connell. Bert Templeton will use as many of his guys as he can now. Savage is out there as well. He hasn't seen a lot of ice time, number 23 for Sudbury, but he's seen some. And there's Kyle Defoe, speaking of guys who haven't seen a lot of ice time, another big defenseman. One hands the puck ahead, and we almost had a 2-on-1, but Ketchison recovered in time. And a pass for Savage, misses down the ice, goes his 23 counterpart Ketchison to touch it. 5 minutes and 55 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. Mississauga Icedogs have won 5 games this season. If they're to make it 6, they're going to have to come on pretty strong in the last 6 minutes of this one. Well, we've been talking about the Dodge trivia, and we asked you about the Sudbury Wolves. There it is. Who holds the Sudbury Wolves record most points in a season? Congratulations if you said Mike Foligno. He jumps in, pun intended, with 150 points, 1978-79. Did he jump in junior? Do you know?
I do believe he jumped in Pee Wee.
Yeah, and then there's this long pause and you look at me. Okay, how intelligent is Lance? Well, let's see. Oh, I guess he got that one. Mike Gorman got that one from the high slot.
Well, not too busy of an afternoon for Mike Gorman, but when he has, he's made saves like that. Real steady.
24 shots taken by the hosts from Mississauga, and 33 going the other way for Sudbury. Part of our game story here on the CHL, our first broadcast of the season, and we hope that you've enjoyed it, and we'll continue to. Along with Nick Kiprios, I'm Lance Brown, and that is Chad Wiseman. Number 21, Omar Anafati. VJ Ketchison. And Jason Spetz is number 19 after the puck. He won't get it. Jason Jaspers goes the other way. Millie's wide open on this side. Millie picks it up in across the blue line. And it goes to Jaspers. There's an opportunity there, but Anafati, nice play defensively to go down and take that pass away. Millie's got it again. He's had a good game. He loves playing against Mississauga. 6 goals in his last 3 games. 4, and one of them centered in front. Oh, and a great save, but they score on the rebound. Jason Jaspers puts it in after Michael Mole stopped the first one. He didn't know where it was, and by the time he found out, it was 4-1.
Well, again, we've seen all afternoon Brad Morgan, number 28 for the Sudbury Wolves, jumping in on every opportunity, and he comes in off the post. Millie finding him. Mole with a great save, but just can't find the loose rebound, and there's Jason Jaspers to poke it in. But again, Millie and Morgan involved offensively, and they have been Ice Dog killers this afternoon.
His 23rd goal of the season, his 55th points. The Phoenix draft, a great forechecker, plays center and wing, and does the damage offensively here, and that pretty much shut down the Mississauga Icedogs. Warren Hefford brings it in. Now we'll see some of the players that we haven't seen through much of the game for Sudbury. There's R.A. Mobile. I think he's had 1 shift before this. He's out there now. Number 14 is Vic Spadafora. He's got no name on the back of his jersey. And he played midget last year in Hamilton. So these guys will get some ice time and some experience, some much needed experience. Hefford tries the backhand. Spatafora is there. And that won't work. Goldenberg out there for Mississauga, tried to get it across, and Weidman says, no, I think I'll do this instead. Through center at the blue line.
And you had mentioned R.A. Mobile, not much ice time, but very influential on what looks to be the game-winning goal.
Yeah, he set it up for Weidman. Weidman one-timed the shot. That made it 2-1. 2 minutes and 52 seconds after Sudbury had tied the game in the second period. Kyle Defoe centers it. McGrattan turns the other way. 3 of them to center ice for Mississauga. Thaler's got room if he can get the puck. Tried to go for the rebound. He was open for a moment, but his teammate couldn't get him the puck. And 3 minutes and 54 seconds left to play here in the third period. This may have been the icing on the cake for a team about to win their 4th straight.
Now the U.S. will know the power of chaos. What's with the rocket? To reach the U.S., use Buck-a-Coal and save without switching.
It's just $1 for every 10 minutes or less. Anytime to anywhere in the U.S.
Just dial 101-5566, then 1, then the number.
Dial 101-5566 to save without switching. Very smart. Prepare to launch.
Don't tell me he's launching us.
He's launching us.
I asked you not to tell me that.
For every guy who'd rather swing a club than dance in one. For every guy who's ever prepared a gourmet meal. For every guy who knows exactly why they're man's best friend. And for every guy who appreciates the benefits of being a guy, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango. It's good to be a guy.
Service always first.
Back in Mississauga, this is our first CHL game of the year, but one of the great things that we're happy to be able to bring you this year is the 2000 OHL All-Star Game. It's right here at the Hershey Center in Mississauga, January the 25th at 7 o'clock, and there you see the corresponding patches on the jerseys of the hosts. And that particular jersey belonging to Lou Dickinson, who's had a better outing, if only because he's played a full game. Friday, benched for 2 periods, but he's been out there for most of the action here today. His team down 4-1, 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go, third period. Long shot by Ormond, handled easily by goaltender Mike Gorman, who hasn't had a lot of tough saves. Another try for Ormond, shoots, and that went off the skate of Fraser Clare, his teammate in front. Now to center ice come the Sudbury Wolves. Viancourt was all by himself. Goes and gets it anyway. Ormond brings it off the wall. Chernyenko is stopped, and Ormond will bring it out with Brian McGrattan. McGrattan, long shot, nowhere close to anything that mattered. It's at the blue line, off a skate there. Here's Jason Spezza. Spezza told us that he's still just getting over the jet lag. He had his first decent sleep since he came back in the World Championships last night. So it's still going to take him a few days. He hasn't had a great game, but he has 1 goal, and it's the only goal so far for Mississauga. And there's a shot on goal, held by goaltender Michael Mole until Spezza could get there. Tried to in and out, didn't work. And he's lucky Warren Hefford didn't convert that. For Wiseman. Remember, Spezza's only 16, and he's 17 this summer. Lots to learn. The #1 pick, many believe, in the year 2001. Enifati to Spezza, just dumps it in softly. Spatafora for Hefford. 2 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the third period of a 4-1 hockey game. Hefford's team leading it. Spatafora bumps with Page. Enifati is there, and there's Spezza on the ice again, looking for somebody to throw it to. Nobody open, but he goes to the right direction. Galladay goes to Wiseman from there. To Enifati. High off the glass. Gorman stops it. He's going to earn the victory. 1 minute and 57 seconds to play in the third period. McKenzie. Weidman now. Weidman with 1 goal. Good, hard, long shot. He scored from a distance to make it 2-1. That's going to stand up as the winning goal unless Mississauga gets another one. And a stoppage in play with 1 minute and 42 seconds left to go. Close shape of the game brought to you by Bic Shavers. Quality you expect, convenience you need, priced right. And it was Julian Smith for the hosts from Mississauga with an opportunity in close off the pipe. And it's been that kind of day once again for the Mississauga Icedogs. It's going to take them a few years to grow into this building, get solid crowds every night, and get guys to play with the likes of Lou Dickinson, whom you see there, and Jason Spezza. Dickinson to take the face-off. Wins it. McKenzie loses one. And then Dickinson falls down again. Semenov brings it in. Jerem watching him. Semenov from a bad angle doesn't. Thinks better and centers it in front. Back the other way. Dickinson with Smith. Denied that chance you saw moments ago. Goldenberg tried to lift that towards the center of the ice. And there's no chance there. Semenov goes to Kimmel, and Kimmel shoots it off a Mississauga player. And we have another stoppage in play with just more than a buck left to go in this one. 1:11.
Well, another solid win with a little over 1 minute to go for the Sudbury Wolves, and that will make this bus ride home for this man that much more pleasant.
I asked him about why they play. I said, you know, it must be tough for you guys. You're playing like 3 games. You play Friday night at home, then you come up here and you play in Toronto, that is, and you play Saturday afternoon, and then you play Sunday afternoon, and it's got to be hard. He said, yeah, but you know what? Like, school's important.
The last minute of play in the third period.
That's an answer enough for me.
Me too, when I played for him.
Yeah, good. Here's Julian Smith with a chance shot, and goaltender Gorman was well out of his crease and makes an easy save on a shot high. 47 seconds left to go.
Take a look at overage. Julian Smith provides a lot of leadership for this Mississauga Icedogs hockey team.
Well, Mississauga has had all kinds of trouble scoring, not only on the power play, as we mentioned, since Christmas, but 2 goals or less in 23 of 37 games this season. It's going to come, as we say, but it's going to take time. And it's something that people here, I think, are quite happy to wait out for as long as they think is reasonable. And let's face it, this is only season 2. Here's Thaler, long shot, and that went off Weidman and hurt him. He gets up, limps up. Claire's got it. Here's Coughlin all by himself. And swings it over to Dalliday. Dalliday will move in. That's a bad angle, but he tries to get it in front. It went off McGrattan and almost went in. Coughlin gets it again. 23 seconds left to go. Feeds it into the corner. Claire. Oh, Mississauga with some late pressure here. Coughlin, long shot, wrist shot, and no trouble as Gorman saw that all the way.
And again, it is a long process for these Mississauga Icedogs, but it's a total team effort. It's an organizational effort, and it starts up top. It seems to be sound here in Mississauga, and then it trickles down to your scouts. And you got to improve through the draft. Hopefully, and maybe make a trade or two. And hopefully within a year or two, you start competing. And talking to this man here, Jim Holton, it's a long process, but he does see improvement, and they are a lot more competitive than they were last year, and that is a good sign.
Well, and on the positive side for Sudbury, this is 500 for them. That's terrific. After the start that they had, they have really, you know, I don't know whether it's turned a corner or not. Certainly Captain Brad Morgan told us with 1 second to go, told us that he figured that this was the beginning of the big turnaround, and maybe it's the end of the first step of the big turnaround, because this is 4 straight victories for these guys from Sudbury, who are playing good hockey for Bert Templeton right now. That's not bad at all. Win at home, go into the Toronto area, and win a couple more, and go home and celebrate your hard work and a good weekend. And for the hosts from Mississauga, it's another loss and another disappointment in a long string of them. But as Nick suggests, it's going to take a while anyway, so you take the positives out of it and go from there. And Spezza certainly providing highlights almost night to night for the Mississauga Icedogs. So the final score favors the Sudbury Wolves once again as they dust off the Mississauga Icedogs easily. The final 4-1.
For every guy who knows clean is a relative term. For every guy with the ability to follow more than 3 programs at once. For every guy who sees no reason to dirty another glass. And for every guy who'd rather not spend the weekend in a mall, we'd like to introduce you to the Dodge Durango. It has the most cargo space, towing capacity, and power of any SUV in its class. The Dodge Durango, it's good to be a guy.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 5,000 kilometers because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car, you want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 5,000 kilometers under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State, it's been tested, it works. What more do you need to know?
When disaster strikes, help can't arrive fast enough. But when the emergency is over, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families will be there. By bringing resources and people together in times of crisis, the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families helps families when they need it most. Across the community and across Canada, picking up the pieces and putting lives back together. That's the Canadian Tire Foundation for Families.
Game day, every day.
Three stars in today's game: Norm Millie, number 1, Brad Morgan, number 2, Michael Mole, number 3, with 32 saves today. Had lots of work, and here's one of the guys who was providing a lot of that work. Taylor Pyatt, a good outing by your club, and what a wonderful weekend for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Our goal for this weekend was to get back to 500, and we were successful with that, so we're very happy with that. We've got a week to rest now and get back at it on Friday.
We talked to Brad Morgan before the game, and he said that he figured that this team was beginning to turn things around. I know you started 0-5. Is that the way that you look at it?
Oh, definitely. You know, since Christmas, we've been playing great. You know, we're taking care of our defensive end of the ice, and then we're going down and being creative in the offensive end. So we're really turning things around for the the rest of the season, and hopefully playoffs we can go have a good finish.
What's the reason for the change in your mind from the way that you started this year to where you are now sometime after Christmas?
I think everyone's just buying into the systems. You know, everyone's working hard, and we're just playing as a team. We're taking care of the defensive end, and we're working hard, and things are working out well for us right now.
How hard was it to buy into the system of Bert Templeton? Was there a lot to learn?
Yeah, definitely. No, we had a rough year last year, and Bert came in and made sure that everyone bought into the system, everybody played the system. If you didn't, you're going to be sitting on the bench. So, everyone's doing it now, and we're successful, so we just keep things rolling.
You're one of the guys that's looking forward to a career in the National Hockey League someday. You certainly got the size for it. What else do you need to work on in order to make the NHL, and how's it been so far for you?
Well, I guess just playing consistent, working hard every day, and trying to improve myself every day, and working hard in practice, and I'm just trying to be more of a leader on this team. You know, this is something for me this year to accept my leadership, and I'm just trying to work hard, and hopefully things are going to work out.
Now you look ahead to the future, and is it consistency here with your team as well, or is there something more that you guys think you need to do, not only to make playoffs, but to succeed in playoffs, or is that still too far away?
Oh, no, we're already thinking about the playoffs. You know, we're trying to get up in the standings. Hopefully, we can maybe get some home ice advantage. But after that bad start, we know we're going to be facing probably Barrie or Ottawa, or a top team like Belleville. So we're just going to keep working hard and playing as a team and get ready for the playoffs.
Very quickly, you're going to enjoy the bus ride home, I guess, huh?
Oh, definitely. It's been a long weekend.
All right. Well, good luck at school. Well, it's school. No school's tomorrow, eh? You got 3 hockey games. Bang, bang. You're back at school.
That's right. Well, that's all right, though.
Taylor, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Taylor Pyatt, one of the stars in a game that had a few of them from Sudbury. This is our Kodiak play of the game. And if you watched our contest, you know that it involves the Sudbury Wolves. And it didn't start great for the captain, Brad Morgan, but watch the pass. Bang, bang, bang. Just like they showed you, right?
That's right. Great pass from Normie, and I was able to bury it.
Well, congratulations again to you and your team for an outstanding performance. 4-1, the final score for Taylor Pyatt's team from Sudbury. And our play of the game brought to you by Kodiak. Kodiak, value, service, tradition since 1912.
Welcome to my Hall of Fame. Home of the quickest, most awesome player to ever hit the ice. The place where with one unexpected move, I can single-handedly bring thousands to their feet. What's your dream?
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 5,000 kilometers because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 5,000 kilometers under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's Thrifty. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
Game day, every day.
CHL Sunday on CTV Sportsnet. Brought to you by Canadian Tire, still the right place. By Dodge, a proud sponsor of Major Junior Hockey. By Molson Canadian, it's a Canadian game. And by Sherwood, proud to serve the hockey world.
4-1 the final score at the Hershey Center in Mississauga. Nick Kiprios, was that pretty much what we expected from both teams today, or are you a little bit surprised that Sudbury had that much left in the tank?
Well, no, not really. I think Sudbury did a good job coming in and keeping things simple, and then their best players took over. The Norm Millies, Morgan on defense I thought was outstanding. Taylor Pyatt did what he does best, and that's established territory in front of the net. Mississauga did a pretty good job keeping it close, but when it was all said and done, the skill level really came and rise to the occasion, and that's why Sudbury ended up winning this hockey game.
How much of a lift does this give a team going into the second half of the season when they do what they did this weekend, winning all 3 games?
Oh, I think it's huge. You know, Taylor Pyatt mentioned that everyone's buying into Bert Templeton's program, and it's been a program that's been successful everywhere he's coached, and he's doing it again in Sudbury, and it won't be long before they're competing again for a championship.
Jim Holton right now is sitting in his office, sort of slumped in his chair.
Maybe a little bit, but I think the goaltending that he saw today from Michael Moll was outstanding, and again, he's going to be a big part of that future, and with Spets up front and that type of goaltending between the pipes, better days are ahead for the Mississauga Icedogs.
Okay, nice working with you. That's game number 1 for us,
Thank
pal.
you.
There's more to come in the CHL as we cover junior hockey throughout Canada. Our next game, Red Deer against Calgary. The Hitmen ranked #1 in Canada, and it'll take place Sunday, January the 16th. With the big boys, our game night, Buffalo at Boston, Thursday the 13th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And a reminder, Sports Central with Mark Hebscher coming up, a roundup of all the day's events. Another very busy day in the world of sports as it was here, and a very successful day for the Sudbury Wolves, who bury the Mississauga Icedogs. The final score, 4-1. For all of us here at the Hershey Center, I'm Lance Brown. Have a good afternoon and a good evening.